Face front, true believers. Blue Dragon 5 here.
And Jacob Weil.
And Rohith Dar.
And it's a brand new day, which means we're talking Spider-Man. Brand new day. That's right, folks. Spider-Man's back in a big way. He's breaking all sorts of records, doing whatever Spider can while he's at it. And we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about and spoil the heck out of it. We're going to tell you everything that happens in this movie, kids. So
everything that you don't even need to go see the movie. You can just listen to us talk about it.
Exactly.
I mean, there's also crazy enough leaks of the movie already on social media. So, if, for a reason, I guess the movie doesn't need making no more money since it's about to hit $1 billion already and just came out
in 4 days, nonetheless.
Yeah. Not to encourage piracy. I think we encourage all of you to watch this movie in theaters with loved ones and family and friends. So.
Yep. Anyway, so this is three guys talking about the movie. So, all right. So I guess my thoughts on the movie. So long anticipated Spider-Man sequel. Daniel Destin Cretton. He did a spectacular job on this film. Not only
you could even say amazing.
Yeah, superior even. So not only did
sensational.
Sure, you could say that. You can also say Peter Parker because he's in this movie. So
All right.
Anyway, so not only did he visualize Spider-Man in such a way that it's the comic art come to life, which is one of my favorite aspects of the movie. But this movie, in conjunction with that, it epitomized the character of Spider-Man so well. It was so well morally. There's just like no strings attached with the MCU. It's just this is unadulterated Spider-Man, despite being within the MCU, and it's basically it's basically, I guess the best way I can put how this movie kind of differs from the John Watts version is trilogy is that the MCU worked for Spider-Man here. Not that I didn't like what we did prior to that, but I'm saying the big complaint that everyone had was like it's always like Spider-Man and basically he has to be kind of partnered with like a kind of a mentor figure from the MCU, and many people would say that kind of the Iron Man principle, particularly like the whole thing, like okay, well, here's like the Iron Man, Vulture's grudge is really against Iron Man, Spider-Man's just involved, yada yada. The point being, though, it's like everything we did here.
Even though Far From Home kind of turned it on its head.
It did, but that's what I'm saying. That had been kind of overall kind of the the gripe that people have had. And it's not much of a gripe because it's still, but it's the thing people have had against it. This movie did not have to worry about that.
And it's not like Spider-Man hasn't done team-ups before.
Well, that's true. Yeah, you're right. That's true.
But more to your overall point. Sorry.
Yeah, more of my overall point is just I think this really captured the Spider-Man in many capacities. Again, MCU working for Spider-Man versus the other way around. It's just it just celebrated the lovable great hero that Spider-Man is. Overall, I love the film. I'm crazy, but I saw it a second time today. I thought it was all the adjectives of Spider-Man. I will say this, and on the rewatch, I still have this. I have concerns with the Sadie Sink stuff, which I don't want to say until we get to the movie proper. Who she is, obviously, everyone can probably guess who she is, but we don't have to say that. I will say this real quick, minor aside. I love in the marketing for this film during the red carpet. I used to take them to the blue carpet. Cookie Monster, from Sesame Street. He did this. The Sesame Street had like their little Netflix kind of tie-in stuff in the YouTube videos and everything, and they basically put out this thing where Cookie Monster was interviewing the stars on the red carpet, and one of them was Sadie Sink, and it was this hilarious thing where he's like, Cookie Monster is basically me going to ask you, thing everyone wants to know. It's time you would finally answer it, and the tension. And he says, chewy or crunchy cookies. And if she was, the look on her face was like so tickled pink by just, oh my God, he's not asking me the question every other, electronic press kit, every other like stupid interview has been trying to get me to say, and it was like this adorable interaction. It was fantastic. So anyway.
Well, it did kind of even lean in on it too with the other like promos I've seen. It's like, my character is beep.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah.
Point being, so I have concerns with ultimately the way that shook out with Sadie Singh's character and damage control as well. But just a little. So that was. I have concerns. Some stuff I don't like. I don't think it hurts the movie and the flow of the movie and what the movie's doing, but it's kind of like my one hang up with it. But again, this is a delightful Spider-Man movie that has earned its box office records. I will say that much. It is. It's great. Right now, we're kind of between Spider-Man stuff proper, and some people pointed out that this is an example of a distance makes the heart grow fonder with the MCU that they could have taken lessons from. Like it's been roughly 5 years since our last live action Spider-Man movie, possibly our animated Spider-Man movie too. But then again, it's been a while since. Do you remember when Across came out?
Didn't it come out?
May or June of 2023.
Okay, that's still a little time has passed since then. But that's roughly 3 years. This is still Point being, it's been like 5 years since we've gotten since we've gotten No Way Home. So just the fact that we give them like a few years in between, people are gonna desperately want to see them.
And we've also gotten the show of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man in the meantime too.
Well, that's true. I'm saying that's fine. We can have stuff to satiate us with Spider-Man in some way, shape, or form, whether it be the animated movies or the animated shows. But in terms of like a full-on Spider-Man movie, it's like the MCU could be taking notes. Like the small screen is where we should have kind of maybe done some stuff and then build up kind of a return. Maybe in hindsight they could have saved Phase 4. Who knows? But this movie, refocus to this movie. That was wonderful. What say you guys?
Should I go first, or do you want to go first, Rohit?
You go ahead, Jacob.
All right. I have a feeling that I don't know, but I'm not a mind reader, so I don't know how Rohit's going to go, but I have a feeling that a lot of my thoughts are going to kind of be similar to Dragons. Like, I went in, I enjoyed this movie. I think it did take some pretty bold creative choices here and there. Something for the most part, it did stay true to the core ethos of Spider-Man. I loved his dynamic with the Punisher.
Oh yeah.
John Bernthal kind of proves that he basically is able to do a more comedic take on the character. Because this movie definitely plays his character for comedy more than it does his usual more gritty, actionness. I'm trying to find the right words. You know what I mean?
Yep.
His usual self. His usual portrayal of the character.
Usual gruff self, yeah.
Yeah. It's still gruff, but played against Spider-Man, it obviously draws out the more comedic side.
Oh yeah.
So it is kind of nice. So it is kind of nice that without even really fundamentally changing who the character is, he can still work even in a more PG-13 setting. So I like that. Obviously, I liked obviously the new suit is probably like one of the best live action ones we've gotten so far. Probably the best, at least the best Tom Holland one we've got so far.
Oh yeah.
The classic red and blue.
Yep.
So, and my main problem is still kind of kind of the villain.
Yeah, I feel you there. Yeah.
Not that it's bad or not that
it works for the story they're telling, right?
Yeah, it does. But it also kind of collapses under its own rules.
Yeah.
and its own portrayal.
Yeah.
Ultimate is another Spider-Man thing, technically.
True. Comic better than the animated show, but yes.
And the game is great.
Oh, you're right. Well, yeah, that too.
The Ultimate Spider-Man game is amazing.
Yeah, well, anyway, adjectives aside.
Yeah, but otherwise, I still really enjoyed the movie. It's probably one of the best outings we've gotten of Spider-Man so far. And I say again, go see it. And it's a good time. All right, Rohit.
So, in coming out of the film and having the time, because I watched it yesterday afternoon, so I think it is the best Tom Holland Spidey film by far. Mm-hmm. And I say that as someone that really enjoys the home trilogy overall. With my issue with a lot of reservations issues with Far From Home. That being said, I think with the 5 years that had elapsed since No Way Home, I think that was a silver lining or hidden blessing because I really can tell that Tom had a really strong role creatively speaking, as well as Destin Daniel Cretton. And I think this movie did not feel like it was in a rush, had to meet like a lot of masters, a lot of mandates, and all that. It, I mean, obviously there has to be certain marks to hit in terms of this needs to be part of a ongoing narrative, part of a connected universe, all that. But this movie isn't weighed down by those expectations. I think, like you guys mentioned specifically, Dragon, this is a movie that exists in the MCU without feeling beholden to further any particular plot threads. Any of the characters that are out that are part of the MCU that are not, that come into the play of the story, they fit naturally. This movie feels a lot like aspects of Insomniac Spider-Man mixed in with like the '90s Spider-Man game, with like the Marvel like characters to come in and their role to play.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tom Holland's this is Tom Holland's strongest performance as both Peter and Spidey. I think the thematics are really strong for where Peter's at psychologically, mentally. I think the point that was made by the cast and crew leading into this movie is that it's about like isolation and loneliness, and this definitely does play those themes strongly. It isn't just lip service. I do appreciate how that's played out through Peter and Spider-Man's relationship with MJ, Ned, with sort of how he's dealing with this change himself. There's that parallels with that of the Punisher, with that of Sting's character, and even to a small extent with the Hulk. And I think your reservations, I have the same. Maybe I'm a little bit more optimistic or intrigued by the bold choices that are made with this character. And I feel like when we discuss this more, I think it'd be interesting to think about is Sting's character, is said characters' actions that different in degree and kind to other characters have made really morally ambiguous choices, and yet we still have our sympathies and interest in them being redeemed and being like full-on heroes or mostly heroic figures in the MCU. So,
all right. First, we have some comments from Teddy. He says like this movie is so goddamn amazing, friends. As someone who has always enjoyed the MCU Spider-Man, I never really agreed with the hate that the first trilogy got. I will say that I love how much this fully let Peter has become his own hero.
I mean, I want to say this to the credit. I still really love Spider-Man: Homecoming and what that movie really was for the time, and still what it is when I go back. That's a very solid Spider-Man movie. The whole point of that movie is that this is Spider-Man we haven't gotten yet in live action. For the time, it was like we had done all sorts of, like, how do you reinvent the wheel in Spider-Man? Well, we do the stuff we haven't done yet with them that we've always kind of wanted to see. And I think Homecoming still holds up, and obviously No Way Home is basically kind of like, it's kind of the Spider-Verse, but, live action. So it's got a lot more of a celebration of the Sony Spider-Man, the Sony Spider-Man films up to that point. And Far From Home kind of falls somewhere in the middle, has some cool stuff, but does not come together. So it is a good trilogy for John Watts, just middle. There's no Empire Strikes Back in the back.
It makes me wonder if this is going to become like a new, like the original was the Home trilogy, and this one's going to be like the Day trilogy.
I mean, I guess it's I'm trying to think if there are any other Day stories in the Spider-Man comics.
I mean, they one more day.
Well, we have One More Day, and we have
they don't necessarily have to follow comic titles.
No, but
I'm just saying in terms of where they're pulling. This is like those two are very specific comic titles.
Yeah, I know. I know exactly which ones you're talking about.
The Final Day. Just Another Day.
There you go.
And again, and speaking of speaking of another thing is like I like how this does have traces of the original Watts trilogy, but Destin Daniel Cretton puts his own twist on it as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean it's kind of an escalation of, or like kind of an evolution of.
Like he took a lot of the techniques he also used for Shang-Chi and put it in this as well.
Exactly, which is appreciated. So
yeah.
To continue the comments with Teddy, to me this movie solidified where Spider-Man stands as a hero in terms of scale of what he covers. He isn't 100% full street level. He isn't Daredevil or Punisher. He has allies they will never have.
Yeah.
But he isn't Thor or Avengers level either. He's in the middle.
Yep.
And he also did for sure the best Spider-Man action of all the MCU solo Spider-Man films.
It feels very self-contained, which is great. Like it's not reliant. Well, it's self-contained, but obviously in the shadow of like the big, the big event that ended No Way Home. But as your opening premise, which they recap pretty well in the letter, works out pretty well.
Like web on. says Eli of Little Blue.
Web off, web on.
Day of Days. Teddy also proposes.
Doomsday.
Yeah. That one, I think that one's that's good, but it's taken.
It's taken. Oh.
Yep.
It's still funny to me that we finally, years later, we had, Doctor Strange meeting Doc Ock,
Yep.
Yeah.
By the way, it's been announced this evening that we sadly lost Mary Rivera, Ned's grandmother. Yeah. She passed away this April.
Yep.
So that's sad. But either way, let's get in to the brand new day.
So one of the best parts of the movie, the kind of the way we recap the status quo, and we have this excellent opening montage. It's a pitch perfect Spider-Man reintroduction. We use the coffee cup letter to sum up what happened in No Way Home. Which, by the way, we use a lot more effectively than the Dark Knight Rises letter in terms of like a device that actually pays off and comes back in the movie. We set the tone. Again, like the sets a tone very much like the opening of the Insomniac game, and just kind of what the world building was there. Whereas the Spider-Man's a lived-in Spider-Man, events have happened. We're just kind of being thrown into the action, where the audience is smart enough to kind of piece together. Okay, this is kind of what his normal day-to-day is like.
Well, Critton did say that he doesn't game much, but he did actually play some of the Insomniac games to, like, as part of the reference for the movie.
I mean, honestly, for me, the thing I have with this movie that I really liked, and I can't say definitively it's this, but it very much feels like, in terms of blending some of the best Spider-Man influences, we have the Insomniac game, specifically the first one. We have, to me, the inhibitor plot line, the whole spider, kind of the whole like spider mutation, spider metamorphosis thing feels very Spider-Man the Animated Series Season 2, and just overall there's a lot of spectacular Spider-Man with our villain interactions.
There was a point where I was almost expecting the post-credit scene to be a reference to Mutagenic Nightmare.
I know, yeah, part of me.
And who knows, maybe that's where they're leading up to.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway,
or at least some man spider stuff.
Well, that's the thing. There's a question if we do if we see variants and stuff in Secret Wars, perhaps we get the multi-armed Spider-Man.
I mean, in light of said villain, I'm surprised they didn't just have said villain just mess with Peter and have him hallucinate, or he had a bad dream of him turning into Man Spider.
Yeah, it's a way to go. We kind of did our nightmare sequence in with Mysterio in
Far From Home.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so the point being, we set a tone really nicely here, and we get all sorts of great Cretton money shots here. Like for me, my favorite thing of this movie from the trailers and everything is I knew that we were in for a good movie. They finally did the Amazing Fantasy cover on screen. It was like, oh my god! When I saw it in the trailer, I saw there was a leaked trailer way back when. I was like, I glimpsed it. Did I see what I thought I saw? And they did the proper trailer. Oh my god, it's it! They have the Amazing Fantasy shot. Oh my god, it's so cool.
And then also, of course, the hand shot.
Yeah, if I had to summarize my joy for the movie and just how right they got, it is that Amazing Fantasy shot. But beyond that, we have just in this montage, we have all these great kind of comic covers and just kind of money shots. That kind of this sell man, this Spider-Man is so darn cool. We have him going up against the Hand.
Tombstone.
Yep, Tombstone, played by the same actor who played Tombstone in
Spider-Verse.
In Spider-Verse, yes, and also he's played the other albino comics character in Black Lightning, played Tobias Whale. Huh. Marvin Jones III, I think, if I'm getting his last name.
Yeah, Marvin Condon Jones III. Yeah.
Right, Marvin Condon. Yeah. Anyway, so we had the Tombstone thing. I love it. So we have Jean DeWolf. Jean DeWolf played by Liza Kalan Zayas, who is from The Bear. She was Tina in The Bear. And she was an excellent casting choice for John DeWolf. And I heard she was going to be movie. I didn't know if she was going to play John DeWolf or not. I speculated. I'm so glad she ended up doing that, because it's kind of like basically Yuri Watanabe role, which obviously the original Yuri Watanabe was Gene DeWolf. That's kind of a modernization of it, but it's very much kind of like we give Spider-Man a kind of a Jim Gordon-esque character, and I love that's kind of what we have in Gene DeWolf.
And they might be adapting a famous storyline down the line with her.
They could be.
Oh, that's gonna be depressing to see.
I mean, that's the thing. She's very well loved in this movie. I really liked her in this movie, so I'm going to be heartbroken eventually when we do that.
Yeah, I really appreciated that she was kind of like.
What if they combined like the Kraven's Last Hunt and her standard than the death of Gene DeWolf?
Well, it's always with the Kraven's Last. We can't get Kraven's Last Hunt without having like a proper Kraven interacting with Spider-Man.
I mean, you could honestly just do a condensed version.
Well, then again, they did that in Insomniac Spider-Man.
Yeah, but that they have like. Wait. When you introduced Kraven's, like there was no prior history with Kraven, right? That was in the very first.
Correct. Yeah, that was the first time. Yeah.
All right, fine. Well, even I guess
the way that story played out.
I'm not saying they have to. I'm not saying they just have to bring Kraven in and then do Last Hunt. I'm just saying they could combine those two arcs if they do that.
Yeah, but in the game already kind of did it though.
Honestly, I would like to see like the symbiote like saga, like in this version that whatever with Gene DeWolf. Well, I think you can really emphasize like how.
Well, considering the post-credit scene of this movie, that might not be too far off.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're getting there. We gotta put certain things in motion before we get there. Obviously, we need to get the suit, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I love Gene DeWolf in this. Like she's like exactly how I kind of imagined her from the comics.
Pitch perfect. Looks great. Just fantastic.
Like
anyway, I love it. She's like calling him like Lonnie because he's Lonnie Lincoln. Like, hey Lonnie, what's up? You know, it's just kind of.
It's like it is kind of interesting as like how she just has Spider-Man's number.
Yeah, we just had this delight. My favorite of the Tombstone thing, but because part of me my hope of hopes that maybe Tombstone would have been the big bad. That's not the big bad because I think it was telegraphed in the trailers. Like, okay, we got to do our big mystery hooded character is going to probably be the big bad. Tombstone, there was a point where I wondered if we're going to do a mob thing, then Tombstone would. We obviously don't have Kingpin because of the way Daredevil Born Again has shaked out and legalese. Point being, I really, I love this bit where she, are you trying to do my job? Hey, I'm just helping out. Essentially, he's very chipper, very much like saying, you guys are the professionals. I'm just a volunteer. Which that's such a great relationship with Spider-Man to have with the police. I love it.
What I appreciate about Gene DeWolf in this is that it's not spelled out, but it's I do appreciate she kind of is like the surrogate, like maternal figure for Spidey.
Yeah,
it's not
an
like
Aunt May figure,
Yeah, it's not super force. It's not like lingered on longer than it needs to, but it's there, and I'm really excited to see where that relationship goes. I think also I really like, especially in the beginning of this movie and throughout, like when Peter's as Spider-Man, he really emphasizes the New Yorker accent vibe.
Yeah.
And I guess as I feel like after we watch the Home trilogy, it doesn't feel like he does that as much intentionally, but I guess with him being like a solely friendly neighborhood Spider-Man for the past 4 years, like it just feels like he's kind of has this persona that just feels natural to him. And I really appreciate that for the film.
All right, so again, also that bit too reminded me of like one of my favorite little Gordon Batman bits from that animated series. It was the whole thing of like, they should be giving you this award. That hey, I'm just the night shift. You deal with this craziness 24/7. It was like, okay, they got like, love it. They're getting that kind of that's the vigilante cop dynamic I always love to see.
Mm-hmm.
So I said Boomerang. We had Boomerang thrown. Oh, by the way, apparently the actor who played Boomerang, he was a stunt guy on Daredevil. He was on the Daredevil show. He was like for the young Matt Murdock growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Really neat. And he played one of the Hand Ninjas too. But anyway, so that guy. So the point being, we had Boomerang. We mentioned the Magia, with Manfredi, it's Silverman, all that kind of stuff. Which Silverman we saw very recent in Spider Noir. And of course, Scorpion was a big win. Michael Mando, loved the actor, and it was like always wanted to see them pay that off after we set him up, and we finally have him in a really cool looking Scorpion outfit, and he's just like this
I wish he had the Scorpion mask and his colors were a little brighter, but
I kind of wish he was the main big bad.
I would have loved that, but yeah, that's admittedly, it would have been really cool. But he's like Scorpion is such a perfect like. he was always one of my favorite. Like he's low level enough, but he's still big enough of a threat for Spider-Man. You know, he's like the reoccurring, like he's you know, it's the whole like Scorpion, like in the Spider, you know, prey, kind of predator prey kind of dynamic. Plus, he's got history. You know, you know, street level with the street crime versus, you know, the friendly neighborhood. It's great. And obviously, another reason I was really stoked to see Scorpion fueled the fire on the see more was friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, the show, where, you know, he's, you know, we saw you can absolutely do a cartel Scorpion and make it work.
Mhm.
Yeah, like, he's intense in that show.
Oh yeah. Also, we had you had Ramrod show up very briefly. He's like, you know, like headbutting a wall.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Tarantula.
And Tarantula, of course, and Tarantula. Again, Money Shots covers like all these kind of, again, just great visual, you know, direction on this. So also with our status quo building here, we've earned like a new suit lady. We have Evo, the new you know, kind of artificial intelligence within the little helper with you know, with I think it's just Eva, right?
That was just Eve.
Oh, sorry, Eve. Yeah, sorry.
I thought it was EV.
Eve, I don't know, it's Eve or Evie, but yeah, you guys are right. The point being, Evie, the suit lady, who was voiced by Naomi Watts, who in Tom Holland's one of his early movies, you know, she was his co-star in that. So it's like,
The Impossible. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
that
like
one.
Ewan McGregor and okay.
That was the big one for him. So that's, you know, I think she plays mom in that.
Yeah, she plays the mom. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's always like an inside joke with whoever our suit lady is, you know, and you know, Jennifer Connelly, of course, the wife of Paul Bettany, who the Vision. So we, you know,
and played Betty Ross in 2003 Hulk.
That's right.
Hulk in this movie, yeah.
Yep. Anyway, so the point is, it's kind of nice that I really liked Karen in that in Homecoming. So it's kind of nice that we've kind of found a way to kind of have him do it on his own terms versus being a preloaded option in the suit. So that's cool. So again, he's living a very Spider-Man 2 lifestyle, you know, for the greater good. You know, he's in the crappy apartment that he's fixed up and he's made into kind of a HQ.
Well, it's not an apartment. It's actually because I just remember someone pointed out he's living in an attic.
Well, that's the thing. He's living in like the asbestos-ridden like attic or something.
Because I remember he was in an apartment, and then when someone like a neighbor was being friendly, he's like, okay, I need to like be somewhere even more isolated.
See that I didn't pick up on, like he was scared off. I thought that neighbor was the one from later on.
No, it's like
that's not the same. That's not the girl with the juicy pants.
Yeah, it's two different.
I thought it was the same one too.
I know, that's the thing. So, okay, I didn't pick up on that. I thought it was he's in the same building, but he's just moved apartments since the last movie.
I mean, I knew it was the attic. I knew it was the attic.
Yeah,
but I didn't think it was two different people. I was like, she was obviously trying to be flirty with him, and then later on she sees him in the elevator with her new guy.
See, this honestly, you know what that girl? This is what I read way too much into because I thought it was the same girl from later. It reminded me there's this issue of Peter Parker Spider-Man where he moved into an apartment and it was, you know, again, it's basically Peter Parker on his own. There's this cute blonde girl like a dog or something, and you know they kind of had an encounter. I was like, oh, okay, it kind of seems like it might be a little bit of a nod to that. You know, she liked them, you know, the Peter Parker charm, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, but yeah, the point being, he's he's in kind of like he's got HQ in the attic. Which, I mean, still, regardless, it still functions like an apartment because he's paying rent or something for that, isn't it?
Okay, good correction. It was the same girl. Okay, so you just moved from like an apartment unit to just being in the attic. All right.
Well, I mean, how do you know he moved? How do you know he moved?
Well, no, because he's in an apartment room, and then in the montage he approaches the. Or is it just like actually no? So the attic could just be like an extra space to do his Spider-Man stuff.
It was either an extra space. I don't know why. I assumed he just moved to the. Since the last movie, I don't think we saw him just in the regular apartment. Did we see him in a regular apartment?
No, I don't recall it. Like, because he just kind of.
That's the thing. I think he just from between movies. I think he moved to a different apartment building into that attic. Like that's where he's at, perhaps. Like
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay, we're spending way too much time on the semantics of the apartment. We can press on just a skosh here. We have a big, exciting tank chase. We have some great action. Feels like the game in the best sense. And of course, we introduce our MVP of the movie, Frank Castle, Punisher. John Bernthal, of course. One of the wonderful things about this movie and this year, honestly, for them is that we really, so years back, John Bernthal and Tom Holland, they worked on a movie together and they became friends. And since then, they helped each other get their respective MCU roles, and they had always been kind of been friends. And this year, there've been a lot of opportunities to work together, and it's magic when they're together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's 3 movies. I mean, there's 2 movies this month with them and Zendaya.
Yep. Anyway, so Punisher is he's just pitch perfect. Just him he's in the battle van, which I already love. He's in the battle van. He's in the thick of the action. It's just the dynamic between the two of them just feels just right. Like these two guys have encountered each other. Obviously, one's very sunshine rainbows, one very much doom and gloom. They're going to mix. Yep, Staten Island's very much a sticking point where it's like the Punisher cannot discount that. Oh, this little sunshine rainbow kid saved my life, and I got to deal with them. And his whole like "don't kill people, Frank" kind of attitude. So it's just the wonderful, very much a buddy cop dynamic between these two, which is pretty much from the page. They always had a rocky start. The Punisher almost killed Spider-Man the first time they met.
Yeah,
which becomes kind of a plot point later on.
Yeah, like the animated series.
Yep, that as well. Which again, based on the original. Yep. Anyway, of course, best part web censorship, where he just like Punisher is about to let an F-bomb loose, and then Spider-Man webs up his mouth. Go home, Frank.
Technically, he would be allowed 1 F-bomb. So.
He would. We haven't really done that since Guardians.
Well, in a PG-13 sense, anyway.
Well, that's what I mean, a PG-13 sense.
Because obviously, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes. R-rated movie doesn't count. PG-13.
Well, you say, well, I know.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm just saying they would be allowed just 1. Everyone gets 1.
That's what Spider-Man would tell you, yeah.
Well, I'll have it be said by Peter in the 6th movie when he sees the Sinister Six.
Well, remember we've teased the F-bomb. They could have got away with it, but the end in the beginning of Far From Home and No Way Home is Spider-Man dropping an F-bomb.
And also, I remember there was also the gag that was started in Homecoming when May first she's like, "What the fuck?"
Yep, there you go. Yeah, so you're right. We've it's kind of a running gag. So I wonder. Actually, they might keep it up with the whole like censored F-bomb. So maybe the next movie is still going to persist. It's been in all 4 movies so far.
Yep.
Now, again, if Deadpool is the next Deadpool movie is Deadpool and Spider-Man, that would be fun. He starts and then Deadpool says, "No," he actually says the F-bomb. That's what you meant to say, right? Anyway, so point we have this exciting chase and everything. Damage control. I guess to kind of get things started, damage control here. I've been iffy on the direction with damage control in the MCU, where one, it's very appropriate that damage control is in the Spider-Man movie, given we were introduced to them in Spider-Man Homecoming in a way that I think was right off the bat. I think was perfect for him.
Mm-hmm.
But ever since Homecoming, every time we've seen him on the small screen,
oh, that stupid thing. Sorry.
Point being, ever since we saw damage control, ever since we've seen him on the small screen, it's very much going in the direction of mutant powers, and instead of the recovering technology. Which I'm not saying we didn't do some recovering technology stuff here, but it was always just it. It's like for some reason, why would damage control have Scorpion, in the facility aside from plot reasons? It's
And why would they be removing him too?
Well, it's a detention facility, right? It's
I don't know about that. Is it really like
No,
they have a detention facility? Why do they have a detention facility though?
Well,
They're
I mean, because damage
items.
control has expanded, because think of this, because like damage control, when we were introduced to them in Homecoming, they're just kind of basically like a public-private enterprise that's dedicated to clearing up collateral damage.
Yeah.
And debris from all that's happened.
That's right.
And since like post Endgame, some act of Congress, whatever, has expanded and redefined this agency to now be like a law enforcement agency that has an expanded view of damage control. So they have, like detention facility. They have like, agents with weapons, all this and that.
See, I don't know how I feel about that for damage control because it's the whole thing. They became sword before we forgot that sword was a thing.
Well, no, they became sword. They became like.
I know swords like slightly different. I'm just saying, in essence, they're kind of acting like shield and slash sword.
They become like sort of any stand-in government agency in Marvel Comics that's like antagonistic towards the heroes, or like which is really Shield sometimes, or just some other government agency with whatever name you can think of for like X-Men or what have you. So I think damage control going on this transition is just to set the basis for like eventually. I very much would not be surprised post Secret Wars if the status quo is such that like most superhumans, save like anyone familiar with the Avengers, the FF, or like persona non grata, or like more polarizing than one we'd received.
So something else to mention with damage control is we have like it's been a through line. So it's not just like since Homecoming we've seen these guys. We checked in with them a little bit in No Way Home because they were the ones doing the interrogation.
Yeah, and they popped up in Miss Marvel and in
Wonder Man,
and a little bit in She-Hulk. So
yeah. So I mean, you're right. It's been on that trajectory. It just feels like since Wonder Man, particularly, we've very much going the MRD route with these guys. And it feels very much like this is how we've been kind of Trojan horsing to get the X-Men and the mutants. Well, yeah, you're right. Since Miss Marvel, I'm just saying we've been putting a finer point on it with Wonder Man, especially recently with the whole like we're not bringing it back for season 2 thing. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just I would not be surprised if like damage control was like renamed, or there's like, hey everyone, we reformed the agency, but actually we just kind of put it under a different name, and it's like Mutant Response Division.
Yeah, that's what I think. It feels like the direction that they're really. That's the end game for damage.
Yeah, I think you kind of mirror like how like you had like the Office of Strategic Services in World War II that eventually transitioned to becoming the CIA. So like there's plenty of examples in history in our real world where like one government agency had like baseline foundational powers and authorities that then expand and get retooled into something different that's like more longer lasting.
I hear that, but I love the simple days of damage control where it was like this great kind of world building kind of device where it was like, this is where the technology goes, and that it led to Vulture's cause and everything. There's I don't know, there's a lot of the simplicity of like this is where all the Easter eggs in the MCU go to. I just really love the simplicity of that.
Well, in light of Marvel's direction for Disney Plus television, I think it would have been a loss if there was going to be a likelihood for a damage control, say, TV show where you're going to do the whole hijinks and drama of it all.
Now we can't really do since now there's pretty much bad guys.
I feel like even prior to that, it's just I think damage control was just like a neat thing that like, hey, let's just take this thread, change it to something more useful or more impactful, and then because. The damage control is a thing that like
we had Demolition Man, but then we killed him very needlessly in Brave New World.
Yeah, it's not every small character or group is gonna get equal love. So
yeah. All right. Anyway, so point being, we had our big the tank ult in this sequence was used as like a Trojan horse to break in the damage control, and really was a delivery mechanism to get to the Scorpion. That's ultimately in the grand scheme of the movie. You look back on it, it's like that's ultimately what the point of the tank was. We needed to get our mine hopper close to Scorpion within 33 feet. Yeah, after a lot of hops. So no, it's not the movie hoppers, kids. A lot of mine hopping going on in this movie without the benefit of beaver technology. Basically, our mine hopper needs muscle, and they designate Scorpion as the muscle initially. And I really wish, I'm going to say this, with the marketing, and it's kind of a Sony thing. Obviously, it's a little bit Sony and Marvel, but usually Sony. I really wish the marketing did not show the mine hopping in the trailer. I think that was a mistake. I think that's what led to a lot of Sadie Sink just getting the brunt of it in the marketing. Is like that was an unwise decision on their part. Just going to throw that out there. Okay, so point being, we have an excellent little scene there. We're building some intrigue with our mine hopping kind of threat, which leads to Spider-Man needs to consult somebody about this mine hopper because it sounds like some other mine kind of shenanigans that we've had in the MCU. Goes to a sauna.
Where we Well, Yelena's office.
Yes, very much like the Fonz's office, only a lot more upscale versus a bathroom stall. It's very much like her office is a sauna.
It is one
I'm
heck of
thinking bathhouse. Sauna, I'm just thinking of like.
Well, that's the thing. I want to say bathhouse,
Bathhouse.
but it's like, is it a Turkish bathhouse? Is it a bathhouse?
it is technically a bathhouse. Yeah.
No, it is a bathhouse. Like,
So it's, okay, it's literally a bathhouse.
the sauna is like an enclosed like room that has like those rocks that you pour hot water in and get like the vapors to like.
Okay, well, I thought somebody called it a sauna in the movie, so it's definitely a bathhouse.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so anyways, point being, where it's so we're at the bathhouse office of the Elena. So I heard, so this is one of those things. I heard a little bit about this. I heard like this business about there's going to be like a Elena appearance in the movie, but hearing what it was described as very reductively, it felt like, okay, there's no, people are insane. This is not going to be in the movie. I mean, come on. If the Elena shows up, it'll probably be like a post-credit scene or something, and lo and behold, the movie happens. Like he's going to consult a friend, and well, there she is. So it ended up being surprised. I was surprised it was legit. The description that it was going to be essentially a bathhouse scene, and I apparently they throughout the trilogy and just in the MCU in general, being the fourth movie, they love Spider-Man dropping trout in these MCU movies. They just love. They can't help themselves.
I mean, if you got Tom Holland's bod, like you got to show it off.
Yep, apparently.
Except the face.
Yeah, that's which again. I gotta be honest. Like this is one of those moments where it's like I know it's pulled from not in this right. I keep want to say Superior. It's right after Superior. It's basically the Dan Slott run. The continuing Dan Slott run after he came back to life and got his body back. The idea of Spider-Man, essentially in his undies fighting crime. It's something that we've seen before. The idea like him just wearing the mask and like barely anything else. It's just this idea that's kind of cool to see as we have Spider-Man wearing the mask outside of like the full costume. It's something I never thought I'd ever see in live action. It was like, oh man, I'd never imagined. It was never on my bucket list, but that's kind of cool that we're there. Like we've kind of.
I mean, we did see that.
We get it with Deadpool all the time in the comics, but
we did see that when Karen is showing the footage of like Peter talking with just his mask and then just his regular clothes. But like
you're right. It's it's more of like an up close. It's kind of like he's
leave barely nothing to the imagination.
Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, anyway, the point being, so Yelena's there, aside from a gratuitous cameo. No, it's not just a gratuitous cameo. It's basically she's there to provide a little exposition about her mind hopper, essentially that, okay, this is not the Red Room thing. This is it's like a possession thing, and she gives her...
This is small potatoes. I deal with big potatoes.
Big potatoes. So... Anyway, so I love the way, obviously probably for some judicious censorship, but I love the blue of the water. By the way, I don't know what they did, but it just photographs really well. The colors in this movie are really good.
I like when as Peter's just listening, he like puts his feet up, and
he's floating, which apparently he improvised that.
Yeah.
I heard they had the CG his feet though, because apparently he has a Spider-Man tattoo on his foot.
Honestly, I kind of would love it if they didn't CGI that, because that'd be funny for like Peter to have a tattoo of himself.
Yeah. So
I can kind of see that.
Yeah. So anyway, so he gets the other big plot.
I wonder if they do that for the Odyssey too. Maybe that's why we don't see Tom Holland's feet.
Well, yeah, probably.
Like, can you imagine like just a blooper in the Odyssey where you see a Spider-Man tattoo on Tom Holland's foot?
Yeah. Well, maybe in the Tarantino cut of the Odyssey, but
you joke, but I actually would like to see Tarantino do the Odyssey one of these.
Well, he does have one movie left.
So says him.
Yeah. Anyway, so we get the VMAX lead.
But what is VMAX?
Excellent question. Baymax's Russian cousin, perhaps. I don't know.
VMAX.
So, yes, VMAX. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we go to the Department of Damage Control, meet Bill Metzger, who is played by Mr. Milchick from Severance, Tramell Tillman, sorry. Anyway, yeah. So this guy in the comics, he was an anti-mutant guy. So it's very fitting that he has the show.
Yep.
Given the direction they go in. So I gotta be honest. When I rewatch the movie, it's like okay. Few things here. The fact that Damage Control was so willing to shoot Spider-Man over like not removing his mask when they unlawfully like scanned him and everything. It's like, red flag Spider-Man. Maybe these could be the bad guys. And secondly,
I mean, I get in this universe, like he probably is used to just like law enforcement just putting guns on him.
no,
Right.
yeah, but it's like this easy, this fast, this soon of just like, hey, it's like the defensive measures. We're all gonna shoot you, Spider-Man, while you're in a glass case. We're all just gonna shoot you all because you didn't comply with the mask removal. You didn't do anything threatening beyond that. Just it's a little, I don't know. It's a bit of a red flag. And secondly, just in general, this actor he usually plays like smiley yet menacing characters, and it just feels
Well, Peter does
not to him. I'm saying for us, the audience, to know
Yeah.
that this is the bad guy. That one's more of an audience thing. Like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, let's see. Oh, by the way, so here's something I really like just with him at Damage Control and this in general. This movie is like wall to wall. Apparently, poor Tom Holland. He says it stinks inside the suit after a while, but it's very sweaty in there. He's in the suit like this is the most we've ever had Spider-Man in the costume in any movie, honestly, live action.
Yeah.
This is the Batman of Spider-Man films.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
So it was just kind of cool to see Spider-Man so casually just going around the suit all the time.
Mm-hmm. And he does a good job emoting. Like I know people say like, oh, Andrew Garfield does the best emoting as Spider-Man. I think Tom Holland really really does his all, and I think that's just. I think part of it is just that he's been playing this character for a decade. So I think his level of comfort knowing how this character should act, and I think the fact that he's in the studio a long time, I think goes through like how much of a larger creative role he has, and the fact that he's like a producer or whatever. So like I think in earlier iterations, I imagine not him, probably his agent or whatever, like has in his contract that he needs to show his face because like he's a up and coming star. He needs to like show like have people know that's Tom Holland, blah blah blah. But since he's been established for like a decade or so, like he can put on the mask and people know he's Spider-Man and Tom Holland. So,
yep. All right, let's see. So Damage Control is again, we reestablished Damage Control is all about repurposing weapons, which we kind of established, but we've also it's interesting to me that Damage Control has kind of taken inspiration from the Vulture after Vulture kind of screwed him over. Where's this whole thing about we stole from we've kind of taken the villain's weapons and we engineered it to our purposes for the betterment of man.
mm-hmm.
Suit our own needs, suit our own purposes, and now they've kind of taken it to the next level, the whole plan to weaponize powers as well, which is very shady. And again, even in the tour here, it's like Spider-Man, a little shady what they're proposing here, a little bit. I don't know. Spider Sense, where are you? Anyway, the point being, again, it's weird making them this shady versus the bureaucratic thing that I think that's just my taste. It's not against. That's with the direction of Damage Control in general is making them like we're very much teeing out to be okay, definitely going to be the bad guys. It's kind of hard to like. We're ultimately trying to make. I think the aim is to make Damage Control like Cadmus in terms of like there's a defensible argument for them, but I don't think it's as I think it's more skewed than I think they'd like it to be. More on that later, though. But let's talk about the other thing. So, the other being my lame Spider-Man reference to Spider-Man the Other. So Peter visits Ned and MJ at the housewarming party. The idea they propose we should all live together after MIT or mid MIT, and we should kind of get an apartment together. And they're kind of living the dream. He kind of visits. I hated the Maynard name was a lame joke. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I thought it was pretty funny. I was kind of expecting them to bring it up later.
Yeah, we didn't bring it up later, which I appreciate because I wasn't thrilled with it myself, but because it just felt like, really, of all the names you can come up, Maynard?
Like,
Really? Not even.
I mean,
Not even Ben.
Well, we
Ben
couldn't. Like, apparently, we can't say Uncle Ben in this. We still can't say Uncle Ben.
Or
I mean, nobody knows who he is. He could have easily just gone with Peter.
That was my thinking, but
or Tony, or
like during the later scene with MJ, I was kind of expecting like after she unmasked him to be like Maynard.
admittedly, that's something he did pick up from Tony Stark. The whole like in a pinch, like Howard Potts. It's kind of where it's like Maynard.
But he could have chosen a worse name, to be fair.
I guess.
Okay,
Anyway,
can you think of a worse name than Maynard?
I don't know. It's pretty.
I apologize to anybody out there who's watching this whose name may be Maynard.
The only Maynard I have historically ever heard of is Maynard G. Krebs. Okay, I can't think of another Maynard.
Like I said, I apologize for anyone out there whose name is actually Maynard. Not for the fact that your name is Maynard, but
it's a great old timey name, but it's like an old timey name. There's never any Maynards.
But more for the fact that we're making fun of it.
Yeah. Oh, well, Maynard's a cool name. It's a name that makes no sense for him to use here.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the idea is he's like saying May for like May. It's like Aunt May's on his mind, but still, it's like Maynard. Like, really, May? You're going with the lady name? That's the first name that comes to mind. Later on, you use Ned Leeds, so you can't say that to Ned. I don't know. It's a whole Peter would have made a lot of sense for that.
It would have been hilarious if he accidentally said Ned to Ned. Like, hey, it's my name too.
Which again is what Tony Stark did, so it's not. Okay. Anyway. So the point, we were at the party. Ned, we set up the spider tracker, which is kind of a fun little viral marketing thing we had as well, where the spider tracker is a real thing. Basically, plays clips and trailers from the movie. We confirmed the theory that all the Spider-Man events did indeed happen. So he remembers what happened. We just don't know who's on the mask.
Yeah, that was the conditions of the spell.
Yep. So Ned. Here's the thing to me. Okay, there's a gag in the movie. It's a funny little Easter egg, but if you really think about it, so Ned is smart, but he's also kind of stupid. When you see he suspects Flash Thompson and the Martin Starr character. I forget what the teacher's name is again.
It's like Mr. Harrison?
Oh, yeah, I think you're Harrington. Maybe it's Mr. Harrington.
Mr. Harrington,
yeah, Mr. Harrington. So
that was hilarious.
It was great seeing them as suspects, but if you really think about it, wait a minute, they were all in the elevator together when Spider-Man saved them. How the heck could any of them be Spider-Man? So, like, Ned, come on, man. Like, you were right next to both of them. They cannot be Spider-Man saved the three of you. So, Anyway, so then we have quote-unquote Paul. Technically, he's not Paul, but we have a line later on suggest, okay, do she like Paul, perhaps? So MJ's new boyfriend is the guy saying she's withholding.
Like, he doesn't have he doesn't even have a name because he's just in the credits. He's just called the boyfriend.
Exactly, because they didn't want to get lynched if they called him Paul. Like, oh, how dare you put Paul in this good Spider-Man movie? How dare you?
Nobody likes Paul.
Nobody likes Paul. It was a bad Paul.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, after this event, he sees MJ has moved on and everything, and it's a little much for him to take. So as a nod to Spider-Man 2, again, nothing wasted from that No Way Home movie. He's in an existential crisis, which brings about an organic web crisis of sorts. In this case, in reverse. So that coupled with the isolation that he's been keeping himself in, he's burning. Basically, it's kind of a biological burnout of sorts. The arachnid hormones, his arachnid hormone levels have basically triggered a mutation, aka kind of very tantamount to the man-spider crisis from the comics.
So it is also kind of pulling some elements from Spider-Man No More in a way.
And more
Spider-Man 2.
Well, more Spider-Man the Other.
Huh.
So in the comics, Spider-Man the Other happened right before One More Day. And that's essentially how we got organic webs in the comics for a while. Basically, Spider-Man got into a fight with Moreland, JMS character. It was very dangerous, very kind of this immortal, fated kind of spider god killer guy. It's kind of a convoluted. It was good, but it's kind of hard to summarize. The point being, Morlun's like an immortal kind of threat, and he basically Morlun killed Spider-Man, fought to the last breath, and they saved Mary Jane from his whole thing where basically Spider-Man kind of died, but the way we brought him back, kind of a la Death of Superman in a sense, was he cocooned himself and he came back and he had organic webs.
Yeah,
it makes more sense here.
He was like the other. It was very kind of a primal spider defense mechanism thing, which is in essence what we do here. We kind of did. Well, again, I love that obscure pull. What they're doing with that is a lot of the other just didn't have. He emerges in the cocoon and everything, so it was neat.
It makes more sense here.
Yeah, so it's kind of a fun medium between that and Man Spider. You get a sense like Man Spider is around the corner if he didn't get control of it. Like there's a chance it could have been a Man Spider. I don't know if he would have full on grown the other arms. He probably wouldn't have, but it would have been. It's a cool thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Seriously, Man Spider is like one of those cool, freaky designs from Spider-Man the Animated Series. And again, the fact that he went up against the Punisher in that show while he was dealing with the Man Spider things makes it even better.
Exactly.
All right, so anyway, yes, so we have this. So we have the organic webs, which presents a really interesting obstacle for him, where he cannot. I like the mechanics here, where he can't they can't pair the web shooters and the organic webs at the same time. And the other trade-off is that with the arachnid levels like skyrocketing, his powers are a little out of control, which means he's dealing with sensory overload. His spider sense is going haywire, and so it's creating a legit problem for him. So it presents the need for an inhibitor.
Which, of course.
Oh, okay. Teddy is bringing something up. I'm so glad he brought it because I wanted to mention this to you guys. I want to get your thoughts on it. Teddy says, now, I don't like being this guy, but does Peter have a job where he is getting money? Because that is an excellent question. He's got all this technology in his little loft, in his little kind of attic apartment thing, and it's like he has like a fabricator of some sort. And I was wondering throughout the movie, like we don't see him taking pictures for the Daily Bugle or anything,
or like getting like deposits from like it's like you don't see him doing the odd jobs or anything like that.
That's the thing. We don't know where he's getting his money from because he's making costumes. He's doing all. He's getting tech. I don't know where he's getting all this.
Yeah, and also because it's not just money to pay for being Spider-Man, but also money to pay for
rent,
food, for rent, like clothes,
protein powder.
Because he's ordering a lot of pizza and he has protein powder.
Yeah, like there's an excellent question. Where is he getting these guys fancy like sponsored like collapsible Sony Samsung phone thing?
Yeah, the theory like that some people have, it's like maybe when Spider-Man like takes down some of the bad guys, like he'll kind of.
You think he's doing the vigilante thing from pizza? You think he's taking the drug money?
I mean, I don't know how. Like, I don't see.
I know, right? No, I'm with you. I had the same thought. It's like that's the only way I can imagine he's getting money.
He's like
stealing. He's just outright stealing stuff.
Yeah, or like
which I don't think Spider-Man would do. I think he's just taking I think he's stealing from the criminal, like the ill-gotten gain.
He's basically doing superhero civil asset forfeiture.
Yeah, pretty much. It's the only thing. Again, that's with what's presented. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, we don't see him selling anything, so it's
because remember, Peter Parker doesn't exist. Like there are all sorts of other hurdles that we can like look past. Like, how does he get a social security number? How does he get this? How does he get that? Like,
Yeah.
Does he have health insurance? Probably not.
I kind of hope it's like addressed like in the next film, because that's like maybe that's like a point of like tension where like he can't do it anymore for a reason, and then he has to like go find a job, and then ends up the Bugle or like Horizon Labs or whatever.
Yeah. Of course, it's hard for him to work for the Daily Bugle, given that Daily Bugle essentially is like, as we established in the MCU, it's pretty much like a very successful podcast of sorts. It's I don't know, because it was in Times Square, but I think that was only because it was big news.
I feel like it's like just like a very successful online outlet, like has a website, or like they have channels in like social media and they upload content there. Yeah, I could see him maybe if he's not taking photos, like he's like a web developer, like he was like what he was in the Ultimate Comics. He could just do like delivery jobs, like rideshare or whatever, like Spider-Man 2. Or he could just maybe if they're wanting, because I maybe
I had a funny idea for how he's making money.
Yeah.
He's somehow maybe through the help of Matt Murdock, obviously no, but it's like hypothetically, what if he's he's getting trademarked for Spider-Man? He's getting Spider-Man merchandising cash. We saw a lot of Spider-Man merchandise in the third act of this movie, so I mean,
well,
he's very beloved now.
I think that's possible because he's not a trademark. He's like because that I remember I had to look at the article. Like there was something about how like for any character that's to be operating on the public and they don't actively like claim their copyright, like it's kind of free for others to take upon for likeness or for product related. Like think of what happened in She-Hulk, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. The fact that She-Hulk is a public persona, like it's Jennifer Walters, that she's able to seek legal recourse. But for Spider-Man, like if he can't really reveal his identity to the public, like he just kind of has to take the hit in terms of whatever money he doesn't get for like this property. But I feel like all that's probably like secondhand stuff. You like for anyone that's been to New York City or knows people from there, like there's a lot of secondhand markets for like.
No, you're right. It's probably I'm saying in reality it's probably just secondhand. Like a lot of it's probably homemade, but it looks really nice.
Maybe as some kind of side hustle.
Sure, I'm just wondering like if somehow like that it'd be a way of like, explaining how he gets money. But you're right though. If they don't do that, it's most likely
like he's got either an Etsy, an OnlyFans, or
oh, don't say that.
Well, there's more OnlyFans than just the obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like anything like uncouth or.
Do you think Spider-Man's a YouTuber? Is that how he's getting his ad?
Streamer? I don't know how. Like, I'm just wondering like how.
Like if the SML guys can buy Lamborghinis, maybe Spider-Man can do pretty well for himself.
Yeah. It'd be funny if his side hustle is like just being like a Spider-Man impersonator. And then just being.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious if he just does like what if Spider-Man actually just books appearances in kids' parties?
Yeah, he gets like a really crappy version of the costume, and then it's good enough to get like a good.
What if it's the actual Spider-Man though? What if he just shows up and it's like, hey, okay, I'm actually Spider-Man. Can I book myself?
Maybe like. Every once in a while, a good citizen's like, oh, like you need this. Oh, I have to pay you. He's like, oh, no. But if it's like he's really desperate, it's like, you know what? I'll take that. He just doesn't try to do it often, but like once in a while, if he's really low on cash.
All right. Like anyway, it's like Gene DeWolf's like, he's busted all these dealers. Why don't you take this cash? We're just gonna look the other way. just buy yourself something nice, buddy. Buy the Spider-Mobile. Okay. So in all seriousness, so Spider-Man's got something he's got to contend with here with the organic web shooter thing. Of course, we do a little homage to the fly. Like
I was surprised that the organic web was so strong that like it just pushed out the web shooter. It was like, no, maybe he'll like customize web shooters to kind of act like a, like for say a gun, like the barrel. Like and the bullet comes out, like you could just work like as the similar to that for the webs, but it just didn't. So I was like, I guess like
I really like that when here's the thing, Spider-Man costume looks as good as it ever has, and the one detail is like the one thing that's off from Spider-Man as we know him are those web shooters underneath the wrist, but still look good, and they're kind of an homage to like 70s Spider-Man. It looks great, but when he loses them for the organic, it's 1-to-1. That's Spider-Man like. Head to toe, like absolutely. So it's kind of cool. Like when we do lose them, it's like we get full on Spider-Man. Like as much as
I guess it's like if you have the web shooters, it's always going to be like when we hit the dramatic point of like him running out of webs.
Yeah. All right. So, by the way, one thing I want to mention. This is a silly little thing. When he's experimenting with the organic webs on the rooftop. He's like freak, he's almost like throwing up in the mask and everything. So he's when all of it just kind of comes out, reminded me so much of like one of my favorite nostalgic scenes from Inspector Gadget as a kid. I loved it when like Go Gadget. He says Go Gadget toothpaste, and it's like this nozzle of toothpaste is just making like a Nickelodeon-esque mess everywhere. It's from like it's this. It's gonna remind me a little bit like this just kept coming out the volume, and it was just like it was funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
There's my silly nostalgia for that. Anyway, so Spider-Man goes up against. He basically the whole thing is look for Scorpion. He's kind of linked to everything. Finds Scorpion, but Scorpion is under the Mind Hopper's control, which again takes a little bit away from Scorpion, but it's still cool to see him in action. They have a really cool fight. And we have a little bit of a tease at kind of Spider-Man the Black Suitor, how this kind of like Spider-Man unconscious of just how brutal he could be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this awesome, brutal fight. And to me, what got me is to show me, okay, we know exactly what we're doing here. We're doing making all the right moves. He very recklessly goes out of and beating the tar out of Scorpion. He flings him at this cop car. And it's this thing you always like take for granted, like when we're pancaking cop cars and like Batman Begins and all this kind of stuff. It's like the cop could be hurt, and Spider-Man is like when he comes through, he's freaking out. Understandably, he feels terrible. My heart broke for Spider-Man. There, he felt so bad. Like, oh my god, that cop's hurt because of what I've done here. And it really puts into perspective, like I got to get this, I got to lock down this organic web, like arachnid hormone thing, or else people get hurt. I don't want that. Very heroic. That's the Spider-Man that I would follow, to the ends of the earth, right there.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So our plotting I think is just really strong in this movie in terms of like at least the first, especially the first half, but overall, yes, it's just the fact. Okay, I have a problem here. I got to go to the Hulk. I go to Bruce Banner, who's dealt with this kind of thing, who we've established, and we actually paid off this very pointless thing, and we made quite the meal out of it. The inhibitor device that we saw in Shang-Chi. So if anyone's going to pay this off, it'd probably be the guy who either filmed the scene or he's stuck with the scene. And then we established it in She-Hulk very briefly before we just kind of like, the heck with it. He's got the inhibitor device again, and Spider-Man remembers us like, wait a minute, this inhibitor device, I could use one of those. Let's just make it like not specified to the Hulk. So Bruce Banner's at ESU. He's teaching. This is going to. It's kind of like we don't have Kirk Connors, but we have the next best thing, who can also turn to a Hulk. Celebrity professor, we have like the Thanos gag. Everyone like asks like the audience question, like, wait a minute, can't Thanos just make more food?
And apparently her name was Cindy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's an intentional name choice.
Why?
Cindy Moon.
Where do I know Cindy Moon from? That sounds...
Silk.
Wait, that was... Oh, wow. I thought Silk had like... Wait, did Cindy have dark hair?
I think so.
Okay, that's good. Okay, that's it. All right. I thought she was... I don't know. I remember her being blonde or something. But okay, that's great. The Silk isn't blonde. I mean, the girl who said the line. You're right, though. It's probably... Yeah. Sorry, folks. I know nothing about Silk. That's kind of sorry. That's
I don't either. I picked all that up from what I've seen in Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Anyway,
well, yeah, at the very end of the game,
the Insomniac game.
Yeah, because always we introduce a new character at the end of these Insomniac games. There's another Spider-Man. That's the pattern for these games. Anyway, so we have we still don't acknowledge the fact the Hulk has a son, but we're not gonna worry about that here.
I don't think anybody really cares anymore.
No one cares. It's all right.
I care. For me, the Hulk stuff, I was just like, okay, like, I feel like a lot of Hulk's development, because of the right situation and all that, it's all off screen. So the fact that we see him just as regular Bruce Banner with the inhibitor thing, I kind of understand what was it that led him to because he was fine as smart Hulk, and She-Hulk, and just kind of prancing around like that, and it's like, okay, it feels like they just wanted to preserve the budget and just had him as just regular Bruce.
Pretty much, yeah. Because they want to find a way to get back to what the status quo was traditionally with the Hulk, and that's pretty much what the whole thing in this movie is. We found a way to, okay, so we can have Bruce Banner who really doesn't want to turn into the Hulk, which is traditionally what we have. And Professor Hulk was this thing people always just like roll. You're right, it's a budgetary concern, but it's also like, oh god, it's like, why can't we just have Bruce Banner? Why does it have to be like the in between of Bruce Banner and the Hulk? So can't we just kind of keep the divide? And they found a way to keep the divide.
Honestly, I think it would have been interesting if you did have Professor Hulk, and I know you couldn't do this in a game, but like maybe probably She-Hulk in this, it's like he's maybe a little bit more like he has Banner's intelligence, obviously has Bruce Banner's intelligence, personality, but it's a little bit more darker on edge because of the Hulk side of things. So because I think then that would have made it more interesting, where it's like instead of just like Jean Grey, Stacey Sing's character just cold. I mean, we're an hour 10 minutes.
I know. We're gonna get there, but you're right though. You said yes, Jean Grey. It's not the cat. The marketing to me gave it away anyway with the whole mind.
Stacey Sing's character breaking, the whole one. It's like, well, and the whole point, at least how Endgame established, was that he combined the two together.
Yeah,
and then he had this inhibitor because initially the inhibitor was because, as I understood, it was like, oh, like this would help to heal him, like
from the Thanos snap.
Yeah. And then
also, so he doesn't have to make everything Hulk size in his house.
Yeah, and then the whole Jennifer Walters incident, or accident, like he's able to find a way to be just regular, Professor Hulk, and he has his adventures, whatever. And then some between that to this movie, he goes back to the inhibitor, and so I kind of just wonder if maybe like the Professor Hulk thing was just like maybe if either Bruce was misleading people into thinking that it was a meld, or it's like him being Professor Hulk was like a temporary resolve. It's not something that can actually. It's not like a long-term solution. So those are all answer questions that
Or perhaps Bruce and the big guy went off for basically had a truce during that time.
Yeah, and then something led to that truce being broken. But this movie isn't interested in being focused.
Well, maybe it's the son. The whole thing is like, you had a son without telling me. Because remember, the Hulk sired that kid, not Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Yep. He's like the Hulk. You did what?
I'm a father. Well, kind of.
Like, maybe his father, but you ain't his daddy.
Yep.
He's your son? I have a son?
I have. How did you not know? Because I'm a figment of your imagination.
You did not know. How could I?
Okay.
Anyway,
so point being, so he's teaching at ESU. The whole celebrity professor thing's kind of fun. So here's something. So again, you gotta remember, I really like our selection of the MCU characters that interact with Spider-Man in these movies, and particularly, there's always like kind of something in the history of Spider-Man that we're bringing out with this. Obviously, Iron Man, Spider-Man, these are like the two biggest, successes and like icons of between the MCU and Marvel Comics. I'm sorry, is that good?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Anyway, so it's kind of like something that kind of indicative, like kind of the success, the barometer success of Marvel. Then you have Nick Fury. It's tied to Ultimate Spider-Man, and then you have obviously Spider-Verse, all the other Spider-Man. But I'm sorry, with that we have Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, Steve Ditko creations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then again, Spider-Man the Hulk is Spider-Man the Hulk created in the same year, and there's something kind of there's always like it's a big bucket list thing of like Spider-Man interacting, with the Hulk, and the idea of the Hulk, much like a lot of people really like Spider-Man. And it's this idea of these two guys, there's kind of a fraternal, kind of brotherly thing in the comics, just in the grand scheme of things, that these two guys were created in the same year, and they were very much big hits. One for this, very much like the Friendly Frankenstein kind of aesthetic. Big success in the 70s, the small screen, and I don't know, it's kind of these. Both the whole the radiation theme with them as well. There's always been kind of like these little connecting bits there, and I like that in what we see here, we found a way I mean, I could be reading into it, but it really feels like Banner sees the early years of like basically his lonely man, kind of like Bill Bixby esque kind of years, like basically what the Louis Leterrier Incredible Hulk movie kind of like kind of presented to us, whereas it's Bruce Banner in hiding, going looking for cures all over the world. He kind of sees that in Peter Parker here as like a kind of a nameless guy, clearly with a fake name. He goes up to me and he's asking about potential cures and solutions in the sciences, and you're not one of my students, sorry. Like that feels just like something Bruce Banner would have pulled, and I think he recognizes that. And I think there's something really he kind of respects the intelligence of this kid. And he sees he's dealing with a lot, much like he's been in this kid's shoes and he wants to help him, but he's also trying to guide him. Like, hey, don't mess with the laws of nature here, like the ethical implications of a universal inhibitor and what it could mean. And it kind of calls into question all the stuff that Bruce Banner has kind of been through in the MCU with the whole like how to deal with the Hulk.
Yeah. And although the later situation with Hulk kind of complicates things with the villain.
But that's the other thing too. Is just with the Hulk and with the Punisher in terms of like the whole like assigning Spider-Man mentors and just kind of dynamics in the MCU with these movies is that I really on the rewatch it feels like Hulk and Punisher are representative. Punisher is what Peter Parker is at risk of becoming with Spider-Man in terms of like all encompassing kind of isolating himself. The Hulk is like the man spider threat that Spider-Man faces. That's what he doesn't want to happen if he and basically one's like if you just it's like two sides of being Spider-Man that are at risk of in a very negative light that he has to kind of find a balance of an acknowledgement of like the monster within you, the power set within you, and just kind of like the lack of connections within you.
Yeah, that is a major thing that happens in this movie, right? Like
yeah, it's like two cautionary tales for him that he's kind of butted up with in the movie.
Like Spider-Man's central feeling to the need to be alone versus what being alone actually does to him.
Yeah. So we have the mine hopping chase through New York. The mine hopper kind of raced the MJ.
It's there's a kind of a thread that is kind of hinted at when remember later when he gives him the inhibitor and she's like it's universal and Hulk and Bruce looks at him like huh? Like you're the student from earlier, basically.
Yeah, it's piecing it together. Yeah.
Yeah, mm-hmm. but it's like so. This is kind of part where the villain kind of edges into unredeemable territory.
Exactly. So we have this. For first off, we have a really trippy sequence of just very well directed in terms of all the mine hopping. But you're right though. This is where it begins though, because our mine hopper at the start of this sequence. Just poor guy. Just again, just to prove a point, like, hey, I can hop into people. I'm just gonna make like a big dramatic exit here, as I'm just gonna walk backwards and let this poor schlub that I've taken over get hit by a car.
Yeah, maybe if maybe Spider-Man just came in just to save the guy, or maybe he gets clipped by a bike. Like that'd be one thing. The car thing
hit by a car.
Yeah.
That was a little,
and he's gonna have no memory of it either. He just got hit by a car. He'll never know why.
Whoops.
And there's also a bit of some.
It gets worse from there. I'm just saying that's the beginning of it.
Yeah,
we'll get there. James. I'm saying already this mine hopper is already being really mean to him. So the monster within you and all that, and then just then letting people get hit by cars, ruining people's weddings, doing all this kind of all sorts of stuff. And the Spider-Man it's a really well directed sequence in which he's chasing all these bodies being hopped through.
And throughout this time, Spider-Man is trying to get used to his organic webs.
Yep. So again, it's a very well directed sequence, and we have like the raid. He kind of Spider-Man very smartly he cracks the 33-foot radius thing and kind of webs the helicopter, which is a bit of a nod to the whole marketing kerfuffle in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, the Twin Towers commercial.
Yeah.
It's a slight nod. I could be reading into it, but because I rewatched that Icons on Earth thing, I really love it. So
I guess but then. It's kind of implied by a later scene that the Hopper already got out of the pilot by that point.
Maybe. I don't know. It still felt like they were in there, but you're right. It's
But
possible.
it's either that, or the guy, or she took control of the guy and dropped him out of the helicopter.
Well, no, I mean, honestly, Jacob, I think what it is that, well, sorry. You're right. I mean, unless she was like on the move during the sequence as well, and that basically in the time that it took him to get there, and after everything, maybe she ended up there.
Yeah, that's also a good point.
You're there eventually. Eventually, that guy's got rescued by somebody, so anyone was close by.
But technically, he did leave somebody there hanging up in a helicopter from a crane.
Yeah. All right. So let's just talk about the Jean Grey issue. Okay, Jean Grey. That's our buddy Hopper. So I understand that Jean Grey is, first of all, I hate that the marketing with the whole mind hopping thing period, it really narrowed down who she could be. Redhead wearing some Jean Grey colors, the Miss Marvel colors. Ultimate Spider-Man had Jean Grey as kind of like, forget it. Well, Jean Grey and Kitty Pryde were kind of a thing for Ultimate Spider-Man. I think he had a relationship with Kitty Pryde, and just Jean Grey was like that was kind of the foray into that.
I think they were kind of counting on maybe some Mary Jane connections too.
A lot of that was the big prevailing theory. If she wasn't Jean Grey, she was somehow like Mayday Parker from the future, or she was going to be just Mary Jane from an alternate, or basically like the MCU's version of like Mary Jane Watson, not MJ, but like just Mary Jane something or other. It would have been a whole. Anyway, point being, Jean Grey seemed to be the most credible and viable theory, especially given that we've announced like we're doing a movie about the mutants, and we're. The point being, telegraphed or no from the marketing, being Jean Grey in this movie, I understand that she's young, she's got a chip on her shoulder, and you can make the argument that damage control has basically like you can make the argument. Basically, sorry, let me try it again. She's young, she's got a chip on her shoulder, and you can make the argument that damage control has a point because of how reckless she is, but by that all that factored in, she's just too darn villainous, man. She does a lot of irredeemable things. This is not just like she's done things she can't walk. She's done things that are just like outright cruel, man, and just like unwarranted, and just again, this is like pre-Dark Phoenix. We can't hide behind it. She's Dark. She is kind of a bag. I'm like, yeah, but not yet. It's not like a split personality. We're not doing any of that yet. She's not possessed by anything. She's possessing people. Like innocent people are getting hurt. They're being put in peril, and she's doing very cruel things towards Spider-Man. So this whole time, Spider-Man thinks he saved MJ, and it was a power move. She does this really mean power move, like, I'm going to give you the love of your life and give you everything you want to make you think it's as simple as a true love's kiss fix. And it's not. I'm gonna rub all your hopes. I'm gonna smash all your hopes and dreams.
What a baby.
I kind of do like understand it's all villainous, but it is kind of cool, like how much she meshes with Peter. And I don't say this about the whole.
But why? Why does she have to be so mean to it? Why?
I don't know, man.
What did he do to deserve this? He's stopping her from killing people.
He's in her that's the thing that
she says. She claims that it's like she thinks that he's working with damage control.
I mean, here's my flaw with the movies. One singular flaw. Okay, very simple.
Yeah.
At no point in this film we've established Spider-Man, beloved hero of New York. Okay, this lady walks on the scene. At no point does she think, like, Spider-Man, my sister is being held by damage control. Can you help me save her? At no point can through any of these meat puppets can she just say, hey, my sister's been kidnapped. I'm pretty sure damage control did it. Can you help me, Spidey?
Okay, but that's the thing. It's like, okay, I see what you're saying, but I think you have to look at it from just her psychology. She's someone that's been a runaway.
Yeah.
Her mom abandoned her and her sister.
Okay.
She gets kidnapped, and so she's been on her own.
Yeah.
So psychologically, she's probably not the most sociable or optimistic people looking out for her or willing to look out for her.
She's counting on him to save her hapless victims. She knows he saves people.
Yeah, no, but I think she, in her mind, she just thinks of him as just a guy who, like, I think she, with the fact that like he's like friendly with the police and possibly she knows him to interact with like damage control. She knows like he's a guy who's gonna save people, but she doesn't know if he's just like an agent of the state defense. Like basically, she doesn't know if he was a bootlicker or not. Which to be like,
she can't have a conversation with him where she just spells it out plainly. She has conversations where she just insults him. She can't just get like just make it. That's what I'm saying. It's all the vagaries with this lady. It's always like it's just making a lot of bad presumptions.
I mean, I feel like that's not necessarily like a plot hole so much as that she just has a lot of tunnel vision, right? Like I feel like I get what you mean.
She goes out of her way to like, I'm gonna possess all the worst people possible to do this.
I think maybe you would be okay with. It feels like to me, if Jean Grey was like if she did all her mind stuff, but with like agents of damage control and like police officers, and if she specifically just kind of was like wanting to get in touch with Spider-Man or whatever, but things got in the way, or if Peter didn't believe her, then maybe you'd be okay with like
yeah. That's what I'm saying. I wanted there to have been like an action. If there was a better reason for her not to, because it just seems like it's such a. It's like the one logic thing I can't get past. Of like at some point,
because the thing is, it feels like the script was written with the mind like warp or whatever.
Yeah,
and then sometime during the process, it's like, hey, let's have Jean Grey, and then the script wasn't really rewritten as much to like make her not as villainous as she comes off with. I guess that's where like that's my hesitation with like loving like. I do agree it is a flaw. I think for me, it's a matter of in future installments, when we see Jean Grey again, I feel like what she
I don't think it's a problem that she's an antagonist in this movie. I think the problem is that we went too far with it. I think
that's what I'm saying. Is like I feel like whether that's a good choice or not is dependent upon how that is treated down the line. Because if it's a thing where like the X-Men are a thing, but like if people know Jean Grey is like part of the X-Men, or she sees her face, like and then an entire government apparatus is like all on the X-Men because of Jean Grey being part of it, I think that's worthwhile, because then there's consequences for that. That's where the hesitation for me, whether it's good or not, because I think it could be good to have her in a really dark place and then have to work really hard to redeem herself, but also have to realize that that she's made costly decisions, and in a certain sense she justifies being hate. And I think that might be interesting for me to see, for regular humans to be afraid of mutants. There is some level of logic and rationale to be afraid of such mutants. People who accidentally have their powers cause damage, or people who in a heightened state of emotion or being in a dark place, they use her powers for really dark places. And, Jean is a product of that. And I think that's probably where for Charles, because also I wonder for this movie and then moving forward, for people who have like powers of telepathy, telekinesis, like does that affect your moral sense of morality, right? Because anytime you read someone's mind or take someone's mind, like you're violating their consent. You're taking away their bodily autonomy. And I know, like, obviously Purple Man, like Kilgrave, you deal all that in Jessica Jones. And I wonder for Marvel, it's like, hey, for any sort of the telepaths, especially in the X-Men, there is a certain moral ambiguity with how their powers are utilized. Obviously, they use it for good ends, but there's still like a moral ickiness to it that we may want to explore. So I guess I wonder if for Charles, because like, no, I think Jean Grey is like the first student of Charles. Maybe this is kind of his case study, or all right, he needs to like really take care of this girl, really like mold her to be in the right place. Because if she doesn't get involved, then like she's going to do even more harm, even if she feels sorry for what happens. Right. So, and I think if the Dark Phoenix is done, Howard's done, like maybe there's an idea in that like the Dark Phoenix didn't just seek to corrupt Jean Grey, like Dark Phoenix, the Phoenix saw in her that capability to go the distance, and then the Phoenix just kind of amplifies it even beyond what she does this movie. So that's like I agree that certainly like it's a little like, it's weird to think of like because when they meant to say Wanda Maximoff, like people say, oh, she's like just takes a lot from Jean Grey, and then now without like Jean Grey does, it's like okay, what does Marvel think about doing and having certain female characters do such villainous things? For Wanda, it's like oh, there's the dark hole kind of influenced her. For Jean, she was a state of trauma. It's like I think there is something to be said about it, like maybe for certain characters, like they do a lot of dark, morally ambiguous stuff, and then we just kind of wave it off. Like think of the fact that like Bob, like just basically, vanished like a good chunk of New York, and had the Thunderbolts not give him a group hug, like he would consume the world. So, and it's not like people just forget they had the lingering trauma. So I think there is certain case to be made that there's some MCU characters you really analyze their actions from a distance, they come off a little bit more villainous than maybe had the films or shows treat them. So
I'm gonna say it's like literally like, hey, I'm gonna take love of your life. I'm gonna poison you with hope, and then I'm gonna have her fall to her death. Hopefully, you'll catch her. I mean, I'm sure you're going to catch her, but still, like the way in which he does it, like the most traumatizing way any Spider-Man love interest could die, falling backwards, and you're gonna hope you catch her just right.
That's the difference between, you mentioned Bob, like the difference between Bob like literally couldn't control what he was doing.
Yeah, this was very intentional by Jean Grey.
I mean, like I'm not like obviously I feel bad for what they did to Jean and her sister, but
yeah, I mean the damage control's in the right. Here's the thing, I will get to it. I think damage control deserved a lot of what happened to it. Don't get me wrong.
But still, and I'm glad Jean Grey is still alive. Obviously, she doesn't, because she didn't deserve to die or anything that happened to her. But the movie does kind of go out of its way to excuse her in a way.
Yeah, yeah. Let's put a pin in some of that. We're gonna get there, like how exactly they do that. But yeah, maybe a little bit. We kind of hand wave some stuff with Jean by the end.
All right,
a little bit. But yeah, I'm saying as a bonus, we have this. I love the way we direct this scene though, where he saves. Just like we have like a little bit of that lingering Gwen Stacy trauma, where he's just like he's checking the pulse, making sure she's alive, and he's so apologetic. He's just so scared that that Jean Grey is going to kill MJ. It's like you win. I'm done. It's the fact that's what I'm saying. That's a little that scene. It's just that scene's the one they went too hard on. That's the word. It's like okay, we've really made Jean Grey irredeemable, like trying to almost kill MJ. That's a little much.
It's like I can, especially when she's like, I can see why you like her, and it's just like, oh crap.
Yeah. I mean, again, the twist itself is like it's hauntingly, like it's well done, but it's like again a little too far for a character who's supposed to ultimately be a good guy. Like not in this movie, but down the line. It's like, I don't know if we can walk ourselves back from that. That's I don't know. Anyway, let's see. So because of this, we need to protect MJ. We take her to the Punisher, which again leads to we got a lot more Punisher than I anticipated in this movie, and I'm very happy about that. A lot of fun. We had a lot of great comedy from the Punisher. Again, we didn't lose any of the gravitas of the Punisher either. It's like that's still the same guy. He's we have like the little altars of the family. He's still drinking, like Punisher loves coffee. that's a big character. He loves coffee. But yeah, I like that ultimately the Punisher is like this. He's that cautionary tale for Spider-Man, which I love. He calls him out on the whole mask thing. You think this is a sentence, okay? This isn't like a choice, okay? This is like I would give up everything for just a second with my family again.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be wearing a mask like a coward. It's like it's a great little thing for him. It's a little life advice from Punisher. I've always said, and I've always held true, that in the very beginning of Homecoming, when Peter Parker's doing like the little short film, I'm convinced he's doing an impression of Bernthal's Punisher. I'm still convinced. Even if it's just Bernthal more than like the Punisher, it always just kind of felt funny to me that it's kind of like the impression that he's doing. He's doing like the intense like streets of New York thing before Happy says, "Well, what are you doing over there?"
Yeah.
So Punisher likes MJ as well. It's like, see why I like her. I'll put on some pants.
And then, of course, MJ just has no idea what's going on. Naturally.
We have some really sweet chemistry between Zendaya and Tom Holland. Just play the whole Mrs. Spider-Man things. That winning, that boyish charm that Tom Holland still has at age 30. It's really good.
And now they're married.
Yep.
I know their wedding photos are apparently fake, but apparently they are married.
Wait, the wedding photos are fake?
I heard they were like AI or something.
Oh man.
But from what I understand, they actually are married.
No, they are married. Yeah,
they're married.
That's accurate.
Tom's referred to Zendaya as his wife. So
yeah.
Because I kind of hear because I
used to be a side piece. Now it's his wife.
I used to hear just conflicting things, but it is like I said. I'm glad they are married though.
Yeah.
Spider-Man and MJ in real life.
I hope they take their time starting the family, but
yeah,
because we still have 2 more Spider-Man movies to make.
Priorities.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so you can see their like natural chemistry leaking in during that scene.
Yeah, you're rooting for these 2 crazy kids, and then you're heartbroken when the little coffee cup doesn't pan out.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. So Spider-Man accidentally creates the prototype for the mutant control collar. I did not see that coming, and I was like, "Oh man, that's impressive."
I think that's so. As it turns out, there's a reason why Jean Grey went to Empire State University.
The moment she said that, I think we all knew, like, okay, that's where the dominoes are falling into place. That she needs muscle. What better muscle than
the muscle?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, basically, pretty much the strongest person in the Marvel universe, essentially.
Yep. So we have the damage control battle with the Hulk. So this is a bucket list thing, I think, for a lot of people, where it's
Spider-Man.
We want to see Spider-Man go up against the Hulk.
Yeah.
And we're going to sweeten the pot, but for a moment, we're going to give you Punisher and Spider-Man versus the Hulk, which is even better.
It's like, and then Spider-Man's like, I told you to stay with her. It's like, and she told me to take care of you.
Wait, she really said that? You blushing daffodil? Oh, God, so freaking cute.
And then Spider-Man just tried to get him away. He's like, you're going up against the Hulk. It's like, and then later it's like, you take care of Jean, I'll do this. Are you just doing that so you don't have to get? Are you doing that so you don't have to fight the Hulk? He's like,
yeah, I guess.
Like, yeah.
just some great. It's so funny though. The Punisher's such an intense character, and yet we get such comedy out of him in this movie. It's just great.
At least, and Frank at least knows his limits.
Yeah, well, then again, he was, he's like, I love it. He's like, I should have brought big. Yeah, well, so what? You can tickle him. Go after the girl. The girl's the problem.
Yeah, but like I said, at least Frank knows his limits. Like he knows he can't win a one-on-one against the Hulk.
However, we did have a really awesome bit though, where he shot the grenade that the Hulk was holding.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was cool.
I love this too. Okay, so the Punisher, he only had somewhat of a chance because that was for all intents, the whole marketing thing with the Gray Hulk thing is like we still don't have Gray Hulk. It's just we have a Hulk with gray hair that is not the same. And it's like we kind of vaguely had a Joe Fix-It with it wasn't Professor Hulk, but he was basically Jean Grey controlling like the Professor Hulk body. So still not Gray Hulk, but the fact is like that's the one the Punisher was going up against. He did not go up against savage traditional Hulk, which Spider-Man did.
Mm-hmm.
I was just saying that's yeah. Anyway, I love the it's really cool that she broke something, and the fact that she had the audacity that I can control a Hulk. What do you think you are, Scarlet Witch? And even then, that didn't go well. It's just the fact that she's trying to puppet the Hulk, which never goes well. And because of this, she seems to have broken the Hulk, and we found a way to legitimize like this is how we reset the Hulk. We have like the classic status quo.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Savage Hulk comes to the X Mansion just because he's mad about him being locked up or what have you, and then we'll have the down the line, if Wolverine becomes part of the MCU X-Men the next 5 or 10 years, just to have the Wolverine Hulk fight.
Yep. And we also finally got to see the Hulk clap.
Yep, it's been a long while since we've gotten the Hulk clap.
18 years.
Yep, we got the Hulk clap, which, by the way, that whole fight, the whole, like, them running through, like, it. So we kind of did the Avengers hallway run, but we did it even better with, like, Spider-Man, so he can run, like, like, all the 4 walls of the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
And how cool was
which is beyond cool.
And how cool was it when Hulk threw Spider-Man, and Spider-Man was on his back?
That was the bucket list thing right there. Like that's what you want from the Hulk fight.
And him not being able to put the inhibitor because his skin is that thick. It's like
yeah. Also, I love that you can see the contrast. Like, there's a Hulk with Jack Kirby. Like, it's Ruffalo mixed with, like, Jack Kirby Hulk features, where he's, like, the giant face versus, like, again, here's the thing. We've gotten so used to kind of, like, the Professor Hulk look, which essentially is just the Mark Ruffalo with, like, kind of, like, larger, features. This is like, oh, man, this is going back to, like, the Avengers Hulk look. It's like, yeah. It's awesome.
And the size difference, I think, was especially.
I know the size difference too is fantastic.
Even Spider-Man's like, I didn't know you could get that big.
Yep, it's been a while, a long while.
And no banner,
only Hulk. Classic Hulk line.
Mm-hmm.
No girl, no banner, only Hulk. It's a fantastic fight, but ultimately, Spider-Man on Hulk's back and all these little, like, clever moves, like weighing him down with, like, chunks of building so the chunks of building don't fall and kill everyone instantly. That mixed with the likability of Spider-Man reaching the Hulk, where he sees, like, the humanity in Spider-Man, at least that gives him pause so he can kind of turn back.
Mm-hmm. I also really like how Spider-Man went around, like continuously swung in and out of the building, like tying Hulk, like basically strapping Hulk to the building.
Yeah, he's great.
Really cool. Like, I agree with what Teddy said earlier. It's like it's easily the best action, Spider-Man action of all the solo Spider-Man movies.
Agreed.
Yeah, Peter hasn't really dealt with big rage monster version of the Hulk.
Never. No.
Yeah, I think like at his stage, it makes sense for him to deal with the Hulk, because I don't know if, like, high school era Peter would be able to, not freak out too much or just rely on, like, whatever gadgets. Because, man, if I that's like okay, I need to call in the Avengers to deal with the Hulk.
I was saying, think about this, okay? Iron Man needed the giant Hulk buster to just go toe-to-toe with the Hulk, not even outright win. He lucked out with that sucker punch. But you have that. And Spider-Man, he's still inhibited. He's not didn't remove the inhibitor chip or anything. Still, he holds his own with the Hulk. He took him down.
Yeah.
And it's actually comic accurate, because Spider-Man is one of the strongest characters in the Marvel comics.
Well, that's the thing. He might have had an easier time without the inhibitors.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I remember I see this panel. It's like Spider-Man is the strongest Marvel character outside of the Hulk, the Thing, and Thor.
Yeah.
I mean, remember, he has the proportionate strength and speed of a human-sized spider.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally grabbed onto Winter Soldier's arm and, like, was able to,
He's like, whoa, what is this thing made out of?
Yep.
But yeah.
All right. So, Jean Grey, again, she very stupid decision on her part, with the whole, I'm going to control the Hulk and think it's going to go well. And
it turned out better than when Scarlet Witch took care of control of the Hulk. Like, the Hulk didn't go out and rampage all in New York. He was contained to, like, the damage control building.
Well, no, that went the way Wanda wanted it to. She set him off. She just turned him into and sicked him on the whole place. That's exactly what she wanted to have happen. Remember in Africa, she sent
That's right. She was South Africa.
This is like somebody. This is like, here's the thing. This reminded me of one of my favorites. So I love the Hulk versus animated thing. Hulk versus Wolverine, Hulk versus Thor. This is an homage to Hulk versus Thor almost, where Loki through the Enchantress tried to control the Hulk, and then Hulk broke free of the control. A little similar.
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't there also something like that in Ultimate Avengers?
Not.
Because Banner tried. I remember in the Ultimate Avengers, Banner tried something and then ultimately lost control.
Yeah, maybe.
I know there wasn't like any magic involved, but still.
I don't know. Maybe you might be right, but I don't recall the specific of that. I don't know. Maybe. Anywho, point being, Jean Grey, she again not telling the right people the right stuff. She gets Trank Dart. All she can manage to get is Sarah, and then she's taken down a bit of a peg here, which I think is kind of warranted. I mean, I don't want her to die, but it's like, I mean, Jean, you kind of brought some of this on yourself. You endanger a lot of people. You use the Hulk as a weapon. It's not good.
Yeah.
Anyway, meanwhile, Spider-Man and pals, he gets after the whole heartbreaking letter discovery, he reunites with his pals, and he's hanging out with Ned again, which is a little happy moment for our Spider.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
Yeah, they got a cozy little kind of apartment, maybe like a little turning panel somewhere. So the third act of this movie. Third act's very strong. Again, you have to make your bed with the whole Jean Grey stuff. Assuming you do, it's a great third act. Metzger, scumbag, who captured and experimented on Sarah Grey to harness her powers and killed her, and he's not losing any sleep over that. That's what the thing is really scummy is that he told Spider-Man, like, Sarah's somebody I worked with and I lost. He's not lying, but it's just, oh my God, just no guilt at all, nothing, just won't admit any.
And how he realized that he was lying when MJ says, like, didn't remember it afterwards.
Yeah, the whole, exactly. So, yeah, just again, Metzger, though, just utterly a horrible thing that he's done. In the fact that he's just like, your sacrifice won't be in vain, like sacrifice. I'm thinking, oh God, he couldn't really, like, what sense would it make for him that he just pushed her until she died? And in her dying moments, we revealed
VMAX
was like Ventmax. I thought that was initially I was kind of like scrutinizing. I looked at it, okay, that's like dying moments. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good, like, it's like she scrolled out one last thing. So like, hey, if this happens to you, it's like the one thing she could convey, that the last thing that went through her mind before she died. Like, okay. So this unlocks like most things with mutants in the Marvel universe. Trauma unlocks mutant powers. So she unlocks her telekinesis, which basically gives her the tool to free herself. And then she has a very Xavier from Logan-esque moment where she kind of has this paralysis psychic shockwave that she sends through New York.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, gave me the Logan vibes, which adds tension.
Yeah.
It's really creepy the way they did it too, because everyone's like in like a really awkward kind of like jerky pose, and like that poor cyclist just like he's like flung off the bike. And again, this is also like the age-old struggle of like the X-Men and everything. It's the idea that humanity, it's mutants and humanity's in this never-ending kind of like bigoted kind of like land, hate-filled just kind of like war with each other, where it's like, humanity's clearly in the wrong, but they're going to blame mutants for bringing them to that place, and of course the mutant kind of acts in response. It's like, well, yeah, you prove this right. Mutants are bad. Like, come on, guys, you put the red cape in front of the bull here. What did you expect?
It's like she's not exactly she's pretty much giving them good reasons. Like, okay, mutants are pretty dangerous people.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, they absolutely warranted. They kidnapped the girl only because she had abilities, and they, even if they didn't know she had even if they did not know she had a sister, it's just really, it's really cruel what they did. Is they tortured this girl until she died, just so they can get her power.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's not usually something that damage control does in the comics.
No, damage control, no. MRD, son, they probably would not lose sleep over.
Wasn't damage control just simply clean up after hero battles, basically?
Well, yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about in the beginning, Jacob. But yes, that's essentially but that's it, though. You're right, though. That's pretty much damage control to a T. Well, by the way, the first damage control comic, Spider-Man on the cover.
Thank you. He's like, isn't he just like pointing back? He's like, thank you guys, I'll leave this all to you, or something like that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one.
And the guy's like, thanks, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? If I remember correctly, didn't Jan Jurgens work on that?
I don't know if he was there from the beginning. He worked on it. I don't know if he was there from the beginning or not. I know Dwayne McDuffie did. Dwayne McDuffie did some damage control stuff. And it was early on. I don't know if he was like. I know he was involved. I don't know if it was he and Jurgens, but McDuffie was there early on.
McDuffie.
Yep. Anyway, but yes, we unlocked the telekinesis and everything, and I think Jean Grey's in the right for taking down these damage control guys, given what they've done here. Not the whole city though. That's where she's going a little far with it.
Yeah.
So we have Spider-Man versus the Hand, and this is where we always heard about this going in the movie. The Jackie Chan stunt team worked on the movie, and we see it here. It was really this scene,
and it was really cool.
The fact they did like the Hong Kong kind of like running on each other thing, which I'm so darn impressed with. Such a great practical effect, you know.
Like that was really cool. It's like obviously, again, this is where some of Destin Daniel Cretton's Shang-Chi pedigree comes in.
Yeah.
And we haven't really got to see the Hand do anything like this. Like,
no, we have not. This is one of the visually, it's one of the best takes on the Hand. We haven't really. Obviously, we've introduced the Hand in the MCU before via the Daredevil, and we're gonna get more of them in Daredevil season 3.
But seeing them do this.
Yeah, this is pretty much like Hand like right off the page, which is really cool to see. We there's like a little throwaway line that implies Daredevil season 2 from way back. We say they're all very young, so this is
Well, I thought that was all really from Iron Fist season 2, because I remember.
Iron Fist. But here's the thing: it's kind of both. It's that you're right. Iron Fist season is probably more where they're pulling from, but Daredevil season 2, they were reanimated corpses of the young, though.
No. I thought they were taking blood from the young to like make that kind of.
Well, that also happened. But remember, Elektra killed like the one. At the end of the. One of my favorite episodes of Daredevil was 7 Minutes in Heaven. That was the big Punisher Kingpin episode. And in that episode, the Daredevil through line was like we picked up where the last episode left off, which is Daredevil was attacked by a hand ninja, and Elektra saved him by killing it. And that ninja was revealed to be a young man. That we then reveal is basically like the reanimated corpses. And the corpses are reanimated by the blood of the blood of the young. I don't know if it was like it was basically the blood of a bunch of young people. But yeah, it was. That's what I'm saying. This is where Daredevil 2 strong suit. The Hand stuff in Daredevil season 2 was not the best. Wasn't bad. Wasn't nowhere near. It was nowhere near as good as the Punisher stuff. But yeah, that's I'm saying that's where that's. Point being, I was overthinking that we did have we had some of the Hand ninjas were on the young side based on that one that got killed. It was like probably younger than 18 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're right though, and we had like the kind of the college for the Hand in Iron Fist season 1. So yeah, that's kind of we've set up that there's kind of a young demographic with the Hand ninjas. So yeah, so there's a lot of untapped potential. So if they ever wanted to reintroduce a Hand, which we'll probably get the semantics of in Daredevil season Born Again season 3, we'll probably explain what the heck's going on with the Hand.
Yeah, here's to hoping.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry about that. Point being, we have a really cool fight with the Hand. They look straight from the page. Like last time we saw a Hand ninja wearing red, we really didn't have it until like Nobu and Daredevil season 1. So this is a big deal. We got the Hand fully in red, looking as ninja as it's gonna get, shinobi as it's gonna get. And we have these anti-Spider-Man weapons, which again, this calls back they scanned him when he walked in damage control. They prepared ways to take him down based on that scan, which is really shady. Yep.
Which of course Jean decides to rub in.
Yep.
But then Spider-Man gets quickly outmaneuvered.
And again, going out for a way to kill Spider-Man again. Just, it's like she's already gotten her revenge. Why kill him?
Because he's trying to stop her.
Yeah, he's trying to stop her, but it's like nothing can really stop her, though. It's like she's holding glass in front of the guy. Like, it's not, she could kill him instantly. I don't see why, The door's locked. He has to even beat down the door a few times to even make a dent in it. So,
It's like when it's like talking about, and then he realizes that he can't beat them as he is, and he basically harkens back to what Bruce says earlier, like how you decide what's good and what isn't.
Yep.
And he removes the inhibitor.
Yep. Also, his web shooters were destroyed in the fight, so he's forced into you got to make the decision now or never. You take the inhibitor off and embrace it or not. So this is something that it's a little throwaway thing. A lot of people got excited with the casting of this guy. So Keith David in the movie, it's a little cameo. He is the voice of the Spider documentary guy. So now here's the thing: we kind of pay it off here, where that documentary is about the life cycle of the spider. So a spider reaching adulthood, which of course parallels Peter Parker and reaching adulthood, and that's the whole spider hormone thing.
Yeah,
he's embracing it. He's able to balance the two, and that's just kind of paying off the Keith David scene.
Mm-hmm.
So awesome! I can't tell you, especially in the real. I can't tell you how much I love the bit where he embraces like the arachnid power. He flings the hand ninja, but he saves him at the last second. It's like, okay,
yep, that's Spider-Man.
And just the moment where he grabbed that sword too, that felt like a Spider version. That felt like Miles, like kind of like breaking off the side of the building, kind of a moment,
Yeah, a lot of the action just is. I think it just so evocative of Insomniac Spider-Man. And I think it speaks to the fact like how culturally relevant Insomniac Spider-Man and Arkham Batman is to the wider pop culture for those two characters. Because like for Batman v Superman, a lot of the action is very reminiscent of the Arkham games, and then that especially carried through for a part of the Flash action for both Batfleck
and especially the Batman.
I feel like the action for that is a little bit more.
It's more grounded, but yeah. But speaking of that scene where Spider-Man hits him and he's about to get punctured by the pipe and then saves him, I'm like, that's Spider-Man right there.
Yeah, it is. He's good. We don't have to worry about like a cop getting hurt in the crossfire anymore. He's all fully in control.
Like, are you the man or the monster or the spider?
I'm both.
Yeah.
So let's see. So then we he lets her in, and she lets her talk to Aunt May. Lets Jean Grey kind of have a little conversation with Aunt May as he's trying to talk her down from killing Metzger. So I got to admit, this Aunt May scene, I like what it's going for. It's a nice, and the idea that Spider-Man is able to reach Jean Grey and like have like a human moment of like this is like the the maternal, like this is the support system I had who's gone now, much like your sister, and I like what it's going for. But I got to admit, it feels a bit easy, but it's okay. It just feels a bit easy, a little like, okay, Aunt May really, she had a very specific conversation with me. If he's like imagining this or not, it just feels a little,
It makes more sense for Peter than it does for Jean.
Yeah. It's just still, it just feels like a little, even with Peter, it just feels like, man, Aunt May really had a speech ready for this. Like it felt maybe a little too pitch perfect. I don't know.
I mean, it's a superhero movie. So.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's what I'm saying. It's like easy, but that's not a bad thing. It's just like, okay, we lucked out, but okay. Anyways, amidst all this, Punisher, he's been ready to take a kill shot on Jean Grey, and this leads to my favorite part of the whole movie. Okay?
Where Spider-Man, while he's inside the mind,
he hears the shot from the darkness of the room, and then he just
and then he pulls Jean Grey away.
Takes a bullet for Jean Grey.
Yeah.
This is such a great Spider-Man movie. He says he's fine. He's not fine, and he did the right thing. End of the day, Punisher has shot not only has Punisher shot like an innocent person, he has shot like one of the best characters in the Marvel universe. He shot like one of the morally best people we got in the MCU.
And then he's the one who actually takes him to the hospital. He shot the guy who saved him from Staten Island.
Yep. So Frank, if we have one of Daniel Desmond Crichton here, sorry. One of the best Punisher images we've ever gotten, man. One of the great shots of the.
That's the Punisher carrying him in the hospital.
Yes, just carried Spider-Man, which is a little indicative of Civil War, and just the idea that I love that we didn't miss any of this. The fact that it's not just the gag of the Punisher's there; it's the fact that the Punisher is there in the darkest hour of his soul because, again, he's kind of broken his own code by shooting Spider-Man here. He likes Spider-Man. Spider-Man's like the friend that he never is always gruff around. He never admitted it.
He'll never admit that. He'll never admit that he likes Spider-Man.
And this is like the worst thing the Punisher could ever have done. He feels really bad about it, and that he isn't messing around when he gets in there. So like Punisher caring about Spider-Man, I love it. It's like, yes.
And then Jean does do something to redeem herself.
She does. She she should. She better. She uses her power so she can basically allow Spider-Man to breathe and basically never let him stop her. She's been outside the hospital, I guess, and her maybe I don't know if she's still doing the park. I think she is. She can extend it beyond the 33 feet by this point. So yes, she's helped steady his breathing until he woke up, which she helped save him big time. So that was good.
And then the Punisher, and then he and the Punisher have this conversation, which is just pleasant.
I love this. Again, such great acting here where he just, they have their little heart-to-heart there. And it's the idea that...
And the Spider-Man gets like, are you blushing?
No, are you crying?
It's like, are you crying? Like I said, Punisher's one of the best parts of this movie.
But I just love that, darkest hour of his soul, and Spider-Man is the only person that can make the Punisher laugh. Yeah.
It's like it's kind of like a kid, like a Punisher, like a kid kind of thing.
Yeah. So it's just this it's just really lovely, and the fact I love the Punisher has his back here is he's made sure no one else he knows no one is gonna. Anyone who's not supposed to be in that room is going to get in there. MJ's been in the room, but that's about it. No one else, aside from a doctor or medical professional, has been in that room, and he's made sure they're not asking any probing questions.
Yeah, and of course, I loved all the little cards that Spider-Man received, and that New York actually respects Spider-Man for once.
which is great. Time has passed. We had the J. Jonah Jameson thing. I think people have looked past the Mysterio thing. It's everyone's on board now.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's love Spider-Man.
Plus, actually, I just thought of something. With the whole Peter, I wonder how much of that was purely a cure-all because we didn't get the Peter Parker element of his identity being revealed. So, does that mean people don't believe Mysterio because we don't reveal it's Peter Parker, or was there still a bit of an outcry that they have then gotten over?
No idea.
That is the question.
But it does kind of imply in the movie that several years have passed.
That's the thing. So one way or another, J. Jonah Jameson's not in this movie, so we don't really know. Here's the thing, he's not in this movie for a reason because it's about New York loving Spider-Man. So that's the main reason
several years have passed, and he's pretty much cleaned up the city in the meantime.
Maybe he's in jail because in this in the time between No Way Home and Brand New Day, he gets involved in creating the Scorpion, and then Peter shows Jameson's been involved, and he gets arrested and goes to jail.
Yeah, either the Spider Slayers or the Scorpion or something.
Yeah.
And then he does something to allow Peter to leave the hospital, but still give the audience, still give the people who gathered outside their view of Spider-Man.
He's a decoy. They've made a Funko of this, by the way.
That's awesome.
Frank wears the Spider-Man mask.
Yep. You see, I love that we kind of already just him waving was enough, and then we cut into he's doing the Punisher grunts. Just oh my god, it's a really beautiful understatement. Him just seeing all the people that love Spider-Man and that kid just giving the thwip towards him. Just really nice. Jean Grey's heading upstate for some redemption, I guess.
Well, we know where she's going.
Yeah, she's going to Westchester.
To the X Mansion.
Yep. Soon to be destroyed in Doomsday, but not that X Mansion. Different X Mansion.
He's actually going to Canada, but then accidentally ends up in Westchester.
Yeah. Maybe she'll meet Wolverine.
Yep. So then, Peter. After everything Peter's been through, he's taking it easy so he can heal up. Letting Jean DeWolf do her job. But they got to know each other a little bit more. He knows her kids' names.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep. Instead of the nickname.
Yep. And this really nice moment here where
and even Jean's Spider-Man says hi.
Yeah. Even though Peter doesn't get the girl, they're still on friendly terms, which is important. Even though he doesn't get.
Like I said, that was one of the bold choices I was talking about, where we straight up hear MJ says, "I don't love you."
Yeah.
It stung, but
It makes sense, though. I mean, how can she love him? She doesn't know him.
exactly.
So Peter does.
Well, I think she does still remember it because remember at the end, one of the last scenes of the movie is her in that spot at their high school with the black dahlia necklace.
I was like,
Well, no, she's been wearing that black dahlia necklace the whole time.
Well,
Yeah,
man,
but remember, then to No Way Home, she's like, "Oh, I have this necklace," and like she feels like there's something missing. So I feel like the fact that like,
Well, she's gotten closure now that she knows what was missing.
and who knows, maybe the whole thing with Jean's minefield kind of brought some of the memories forward.
I mean, that's a valid theory. Here's the thing. So at the end of the movie, Peter he gets Ned back and does does the handshake.
Like either he recognizes him as the guy who brought flowers, and recognizes and connects the name to Peter.
And remember, because MJ slipped and she said Peter.
Or he legitimately does remember his past life with Peter.
Here's the thing: he did the same exact handshake that we saw in Homecoming. So
it could be muscle memory, though.
That's the thing; it could be muscle memory. But here's what my theory is. Even though I don't like it, Ned was kind of magical in No Way Home. So I think it's the only reason. I think that's like he somehow because of that he was immune to the memory thing because it was a magic spell. I'm not saying it's the right answer. I'm saying I think it would stand the reason. He's magic. Maybe that's why he remembered.
Maybe Peter has to do like a touch thing that's connected to a memory, and so if Peter maybe kisses MJ again, maybe she'll remember.
Maybe if he had a secret handshake with MJ, it would work.
Well, kiss didn't work, so.
Yep. Well, thankfully, he didn't have to kiss Ned, or else it would have been a really awkward way to end the movie.
And a million fanfics were launched from that.
Well, along with the 10 Mysterios.
And there's the fan art. It's I've seen it. It's kind of hard to unsee it.
God. The fact that it's 10 Mysterios.
That's disturbing.
Yeah.
That's pretty tame to what's out there in the real world.
I'm sure.
I mean, it's pretty tame compared to what Marvel. It's pretty tame compared to what some of the stuff that Marvel itself has done.
Can you believe? I mean, think about this. Think about all the bathhouse stuff we're gonna get now with Spider-Man and Black Widow because of this movie. It's never ending.
Like I said, the whole 10 Mysterious thing, that would be pretty tame compared to what some of what Marvel itself has done with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I don't feel like Spider-Man hasn't gone super risque or anything.
There has been some pretty questionable decisions and things that they've done in the past.
The only thing that could be questionable.
I don't think he's taken into a dirty place, Rohith. I think it just means in general with Spider-Man, like crazier things.
Oh.
Yeah.
I still try to struggle with, but that's neither here nor there. There's
that time he gave Mary Jane cancer for one.
Well, that was you're talking about Spider-Man Reign, aren't you?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, well, that was like a Dark Knight Returns esque thing in the field.
I know,
that's like a one-off Elseworlds thing.
I know, but I'm just saying Marvel has done crazier things with Spider-Man.
All right.
Point taken. I like just a brief aside. Ned's username being the Grateful Ned.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah. And
does anyone actually remember when everybody's like, does anyone actually watch these? Well, he has at least 100 people hearting it, so.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So some people do watch it.
That's right.
I feel like every video that's out there has at least a few views. Like, there's never a video that has like 0 views or even less than 5 views, right? Like,
we're a testament to that.
Oh God.
Like one of our more. We average about some of our stuff averages from 30 to 100 views.
Yep, like I said. Yeah.
Depending on what we're covering. It usually depends. Like our recent recent coverage of Avatar: The Last Avatar Aang is covered. It's at 71 as of this recording. So
someday one of us will be super famous, and then all the videos associated with that person will get like 10 times viewership, which will be 700 instead of 7 or 7.
Yeah, we'll see.
And maybe Tika will be funny one day. We'll see.
Jeez, man, you and Tiger just go for the jugular with each other. God dang.
Anyway,
man.
But yeah, so also we have our post credit scene, which I think there's audiences aren't really thrilled about it.
like Spider-Man, like location unknown, like new Spider-Man, new location confirmed. It's like, and it's in space.
I would like to think Secret Wars. I don't know about you guys.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was like. I even kind of said it's like Secret Wars confirmed. Basically.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's a neat tease, but it's like to make everyone wait till the very. I understand that
I read something that's like there's sorry. I remember seeing somebody theorize it as being another Spider-Man in space. Like I think it's just that just Peter Parker in space.
Or another Spider-Man in another universe. Like that's maybe it could be Tobey Maguire Spider-Man or Andrew Garfield for either Doomsday or Secret Wars.
It just feels like I would respect it more of like, okay, look, we know Secret Wars is coming. Spider-Man's an integral part of it. Let's just reference Secret Wars, even though Doomsday's coming up next. Let's not be afraid to reference Secret Wars. Let's trust the audience will like put the pieces together. Okay, this is not for the next one, but the one after. But that's the thing. I understand they have to look. They can't have Spider-Man will return in the middle of the credits. They have to wait till the end. But for that, be the only thing at the
I kind of wish there was just an actual mid-credits scene.
I do too. I mean, that's the thing. It's felt like either do it or don't. But it's like that's just more of like a button. You want kind of like to reward people with a scene and then that or something. I don't know. Or maybe like we see Ned pulling up the phone and then that. I don't.
Yep, but Spider-Man is in space.
Yep.
I don't know how the tracker sees him. I think that was just more for the audience to say, "Hey, Spider-Man's going to be in space."
Part of me wonder if we were going to have like something with the X-Men, like someone like let's put into a collar, like something like that, or yeah. Anyway, yeah, so that's the movie.
And it was a good one,
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing, spectacular, sensational, ultimate.
All the adjectives.
Superior.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see because I imagine this like for Tom Holland he'll do 5 and 6 and then that'll be it.
Yeah.
I'm curious if like Spider-Man will retire or die off in like an Avengers film or Spider-Man.
I think Holland mentioned like he knows when Miles Morales is going to be introduced. So he is coming. We just don't know when.
I mean, after Beyond the Spider-Verse, which is 2027. So at the very earliest, Spider-Man 5, which could come out in 2029.
Yep. Well, that's the thing. Because remember, it has to be every 5 years. No, seriously, it has to be within every 5 years. That's the legal.
Like to start production, or yeah.
So we have that's the thing. So we know for a fact we're getting another Spider-Man movie. We just don't know.
Now, does that every 5 years? Does it matter if it's live action or animated?
I think it has to be live action because there's like a whole. Well, here's the thing. And there's TV rights and there was movie rights. Now that the animated movies are technically movies, so I don't know if that counted or not. I don't think it does, frankly. I think I think it has to be a live action movie.
And is it a case of like they have to make it within every 5 years, or Disney gets the rights to Spider-Man back?
That's right.
Yeah. So basically, so according to this on Google, is that they must begin production on a new Spider-Man related film every 5 years and 9 months to keep the rights. If they miss this target window, the rights automatically go back to Marvel.
Now that does not count the Sony spin-off movies. They had, the villain, all the villain crap. That was like separate from that. But
yeah. So basically, they need to start making a movie within roughly 3 years to 9 months to 5 years to 9 months, depending upon the exact
Now,
last.
Rohit, does that count the animated stuff or not?
According to the summarization, the AI summary, it's like
Oh.
live action. Okay, on Google, live action movies, animated films, and spin-offs about characters connected to Spider-Man, like Venom or Craven, reset the timer.
Wait. So, like Venom resets it?
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, so basically,
Wait, so they counted. So you mean they also, like, so long as they're doing anything that's in conjunction with Spider-Man, that also counted?
apparently, according
Oh
to.
man, that's bull crap. Come on, that's.
I mean, it kind of makes sense for why there was such a rush to do these Spider-Man spin-offs.
Yeah, man, that's no wonder they did so many. But still, it's like, yeah, I'm just saying, even if you time it out, like they still used to with the Spider-Man movies themselves. That's within 5 years. 'Cause you had Amazing Spider-Man 2, and then you have like his appearance in Civil War and then Homecoming. You just like take it, even with the Spider-Man movie itself. You have Homecoming in 2017. Like it's still within like the 5 years.
But also, think of how many Spider-Man movies there were, Spider-Man related movies there were between No Way Home, because you had Beyond Across the Spider-Verse, and you had Morbius, Madam Web, and Craven the Last Hunter.
See, if they were smart, they would have just like put the quality into a Spider-Man movie instead of just like all these unnecessary spin-offs that they had.
I mean, they did put the quality in this movie.
In this movie, yes, I'm just saying everything like all the misfires leading up before that.
Sony has to get that out of their system, and now they got out of their system.
This one only works because of Marvel Studios' involvement.
Here's an idea. Let's take the budget of Morbius, Craven, and Madam Web, and let's actually give it to the animators working on Spider-Verse.
They already got a big budget for.
No, not the budget. I mean, just pay the animators.
Oh, Sony's not going to do that. They'll.
What I'm saying is, give it to reward the animators for like the back-breaking labor. Give them some money.
Come on, Dragon. You know animators. They got to have 3 or 4 jobs to.
Let Jarrett Leto learn to walk on his own.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but I am very curious where Peter goes in the 5th and 6th movie. Obviously, there's a lot of credible rumors about him getting the black suit in Secret Wars, and then the 5th movie can just deal with, like, I don't know if like you do 1 or 2 movies with the black suit.
Well, if you have the black suit, Gene DeWolf dies in that movie.
Yeah, and then I'm curious if they have Miles show up in the 5th or 6th movie.
That would make sense.
Because
honestly, I wonder if the Beyond the Spider-Verse is like we lump in the live action with Miles. That's how we do it.
I don't know if they'll do that. I imagine whoever they cast as MCU Miles will be someone that's like maybe not a decade or 2. Well, yeah, you probably would need someone really young. I think they would need someone who is.
We're gonna make it the kid who he saved and he patted on the helmet. That's the new Miles.
No, we're the like whoever is going to play MCU Miles, like they have to be close to the age that Tom was when he started out Spider-Man Civil War. So like roughly plus or minus 2 or 3 years from 20. So like anywhere from 17 to 23. But yeah. But we'll see when that all pans out. But I guess in terms of just like plots and villains, like considering Jean Grey was the villain for this movie, who do you all like to see as villains or just bad guys in the 5th and 6th film?
I want Daredevil. I want Kingpin. It's so simple.
Villains. I'm talking about villains.
I want Kingpin's a villain. I want Kingpin. By proxy, I get Daredevil.
I kind of would like to see Mr. Negative, but like how you do him, because I feel like he's just done so well in the Insomniac game that like it's kind of hard to do something. Maybe you have his origin be more comic accurate, because the origin for Lee in the
he took over Feast.
Well, no. I'm just talking about like his origin, because in the game it's like it's a little bit different that's much different than how it was the comics.
Do you want to see Norman Osborn adapted via the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man?
I here's sort of my feelings about that. All the villains that were in No Way Home, the MCU versions, I actually want them to show up when Miles is Spider-Man, because I think it'd be very interesting. In you know how people make.
I heard people have made the point. Yeah, people have made the point that, well, he's still Miles' supporting character with Genki as Ned, so why don't we give him Harry Osborn?
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see Miles, like, who's like a working class kid of person of color, be friends with like a well-to-do black family like the Osborns. So you can have Gwen have Miles's friend group be Gwen and Harry. So just a mix of the Amazing Spider-Man and Raimi Spider-Man supporting cast. It'd be cool to see Rio Morales be friends or have known of Jean DeWolf, because both of them be Latina or whatever. But or even honestly with the police connection with Jean DeWolf, it'd be kind of cool to see Jefferson Davis show up. As another friend of Spidey.
Don't you mean Jefferson Morales?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it is weird for Bendis to have named a black character after the lead to president of the Confederacy.
Still, yeah. I mean, it's his name though.
Okay, would you have a Jewish character be named after who? Come on,
I mean, come on, how that's not. I don't think that's the same thing. It's
Jefferson Davis, the leader of the Confederacy.
But who knows that? Who you're comparing it to the other guys?
Who knows that? You all took American history in high school.
I think this would be a good time to end the stream.
Okay. The point being, there are endless possibilities with Spider-Man. I think we're all looking forward to the next film, and this movie was beyond awesome.
Beyond
Spider-Verse.
Beyonder.
Yeah.
I still can't believe nobody knew that when we did the debate.
I couldn't believe it either. But we'll.
Uncultured swines.
You uncultured swine.
What are you looking at, you hockey?
I mean, when was the last time the Beyonder was relevant in modern comics? Besides that one, when the Illuminati was trying to handle the Beyonder,
anyone who's seen Spider-Man the animated series.
That's the thing. That's the main go-to.
But how many people were even alive to you watch an episode of Spider-Man the animated series?
I was.
Are you asking for an actual number?
No, I mean, think of it this. No, but zero of age have seen it, but there are people 10 or 15 years younger than us that haven't seen Spider-Man the animated series.
It's not too late for them to watch it.
I mean, I rewatched and. I appreciate for what it is. I think it's certainly much better than I think people give credit for, but I certainly feel it is dated to a certain extent.
All right, regardless.
All right, I think it's time to sign off now.
Okay, we want to thank the folks for tuning in. We had Dr. John Von Kelly
and Teddy, and we briefly had Eli.
Yeah. And so thanks for tuning in, folks.
Web on.
Yep. Web off.
Big potato.
Little potato.